Right.
Welcome aboard for another edition of Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio, break yourself on a Wednesday night, hump day edition, man. As usual, the title always applies to something that we're going to be talking about, so stick around for the discussion. I am Kevin Barnes. I am the Negro Whisperer, the host of Outlaw Radio, but I'm not alone. I do have my co-host with me, my brother, Mr. Carter. What's popping with you, man?
Peace. Life is what's popping as always. How everybody doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood, healer, the ghetto witch doctor, y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. You can find it on Facebook, Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. You can also find that on Instagram, right? Nature's Nature. And you can go to my health page on Facebook, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself. Ask about it. Somebody going to point you in my direction. Or you can go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me, and I'll tell you how to get your Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements and or Vitality. Or fuck it, just call me, 414-949-2122, y'all.
That's what's up. Welcome to the show, Rail. Welcome aboard on a hump day, man.
Hey, what's happening?
Peace, Rail.
Man, trying to stand strong and hold on. It's a beautiful day to be a black person in America, but I say that all the time, right? So
every day is a beautiful day to be.
Welcome to Outlaw Radio. Break yourself. We're gonna talk about it tonight. Shout out to Vince Tony, man. Shout out to Big Mike Kimmett. Shout out to you if you're listening. I always like to start the show off by saying, shout out to you if you're going through something, right? If you just so happen across this show and you're checking it out and you say, what is this shit about? Let me see what this is about. I want to shout you out, especially if you're going through something, you're stressed out about something, worried about something. Maybe you just lost something, or maybe you're trying to find something, right? Because it can go either way. Shout out to you, man, and share the show and call in and holler at us, man. 262.
Add on to that, man. You know, for the people that's going through something, man. You know, at the same time, stand on up.
Right. 262.
Stand on up.
262-2025.
Ain't no excuses.
The number you can call if you want to call in and contribute to the conversation. This rude ass dude. Damn.
No one cares about your excuses.
Right. I'm trying to get a phone number, man. I'm the fuck down. Oh man. Welcome to the show, man. Joey, what's happening, man? He said, what's up, fellas? Peace and love. What's going on, man? Who else is out there, man? Hit us in the chat room, man. Let us know what's up. Share the show. Facebook was acting crazy on me last night for the Big Black Sports Show. That's why the YouTube page is so important. And so if you like Outlaw Radio, we're also on YouTube as well, actually live right now, and Twitter. So it's more than one way to skin a cat. So I'm not totally dependent on Facebook. I just want people to know that. So I'm going to keep putting that Big Black Sports Show up because it was great. Shout out to Ian Jordan. Got to shout him out too. Came in and did a damn good job, man. I'm looking forward to it. Doing it again. Tiarsha Arthur, good evening. Kevin, Kamar, and Rail, welcome aboard, my sister.
Good evening.
Man, everybody on board. He said, I'm here, but the Bucks on though too. I totally get it. If you watching the game, I get it, man. You know, because you can always go back and watch the show. They're archived on my page and then the People's News Network and on the YouTube page and all of that good shit. Twitter, all of that. There's no way you can miss the show if you really want to hear it. Well, you all right? You lunching? Is he coming back and you ain't telling us? Are you looking up at the head?
No. I was like, damn, it's some dust. I started coughing and shit. I'm like, wait, it's some dust. But then I looked at the light and I said, yeah, it's some dust. Hey, I ain't been down here all day. I had to go into the office today. And you know, I work on the south side, man.
Oh, wow.
So this is my first time being down here today.
Are you worse than I was when that big ass spider was crawling? And I spent the rest of the show looking at the spider like this. Like, is he scared? That spider was grown. He was a grown man spider. He had a family to feed. Too bad I had to take him out. He had baby mamas. I'm telling you, this spider was big. But yeah, what Kamar said, what I said about we were sincere when we were talking about people going through something. Like he said, stand up, man. Stand up. If you're down on your knees, get up, man. Get up, stand up. You have
don't stay down, man. You know what I mean? Don't hold your head down. Get on up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You don't have no choice, right? Like you find yourself in a hole, first thing you got to do is stop digging. So I don't want to come on here and act like everything is all good. I know it's people out here suffering, people out here going through a lot of shit, a lot of stress, traumatized. It's a very, very tense time. I said it's a great day to be Black, but it's also always very tense in Black America. So welcome aboard Outlaw Radio. Break yourself. Why did I say that?
Who?
Outlaw Radio. Break yourself.
Break yourself, fool.
Yeah, come up off of it, right? Run the jewels, as they say. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to the United States of America. I'm talking to every person in this country that's not a foundational Black American. You owe us. Break yourself. Well, I'm Spanish. I don't owe you nothing. I'm Mexican. I don't owe you nothing. You here, ain't you? This is our shit, right? We established this. We built this. It was established on our backs, and we haven't been given our just due. So break yourself. And as a matter of fact, if you come here and you are able to enjoy the fruits of this economy, you damn sure owe us something because we are the biggest consumers in this country. Don't get it twisted. Our dollar holds this shit down. Like nobody spends more, right? Nobody is more invested in America than foundational Black Americans because we have to be, because it's all we know. It's all we have. Right. So we've always been part of this system, whether we want it to be or not. So you owe us. Like what Kanye said to the Jews is nothing. Yes, Mr. Jewish man, you owe us. Break yourself. I don't want your yarmulke. I don't want your yarmulke. I want what's in your pocket. Be nice to have the kind that jingle, but I appreciate the kind that fold. It's time for us to get going, man. Well, and we're gonna have a conversation around reparations tonight. We're gonna have a real sensible conversation about reparations. Share the show. Get some people up in here, man. Let's make it interesting, right? We playing with house money on Outlaw Radio. We can stay on as long as we want to, and say whatever we want to. You have to understand that the power of freedom is very, 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 very addictive, right? So we love being free and being able to say what we want to say and don't have to worry about nobody talking about, oh, you guys are canceled, right? No, you can't. Matter of fact, break yourself. I'm saying that anywhere I go, any politician that comes to me saying, hey, I will vote for me, I'll get more police, I'll improve schools, I'm gonna say, break yourself. He gonna look at me like, what the fuck you talking about? You need to pay me like you owe me. The United States of America owes a very hefty financial sum to foundational Black Americans. And the jig is up because you spend money everywhere else globally. You go blow shit up and then pay to rebuild it and ain't paid the motherfuckers who built your shit, right? You feel me? So yes, break yourself. Yes, we deserve it. Yes, it's owed to us. And for all you Mac Negroes out there talking about, we ain't gonna never get that and that ain't gonna never happen, I'm gonna break it down to you tonight. Like Ewok said, I'm gonna break it down like a fraction.
Them the same niggas that's against the shit Kanye on.
Yeah, I guess put them in there to a certain degree. We ain't
gonna never get it. We ain't gonna never get this.
I mean, you know, people are listen. Allegedly, Jewish people are the scariest motherfuckers in this country because so many people fear for Kanye. I even seen a post saying, if Kanye commits suicide, don't believe it. And people will kill him. They'll kill him dead. I mean, god damn.
Shit.
Listen, and nobody's taking nobody. Look at these people. Look at the power they have. While you saying what he's saying is not legitimate, look at them. Look at what they've done to him. Look at what they're continuing to do to him. We're gonna talk about this.
Well, look what they're trying to do.
What they doing it. They're doing it. And I told you
as far as dissolving partnerships and shit, you know what I mean? They're doing that, but you know what I mean, they ain't stopping them from eating still.
Well, I told you, we not just you, but everybody. We discussed everybody hollering billionaire. He's so rich, and I kept saying his net worth does not mean liquid cash, right? And so the loss of one deal knocked him off that status, and it's been falling ever since. So he's getting closer and closer. I mean, he still got way more money than I got, but that billionaire shit and all this people, he got all his money. It's not cash assets. It's investments, it's contracts, it's business deals, it's net worth.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He still ain't gonna never have to worry about nothing.
Okay.
And his kids ain't gonna never have to worry about nothing still.
Okay. I see you, Deion James. Please elaborate.
That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? They can't really fuck with it.
How can you call that shot this far away that he'll never have to worry about anything?
Well, because he got residual income.
There's people who've been rich. There's people who've been more wealthy than him that have lost all their money, though.
Well, he's smart though, man. He ain't no dummy. You know what I mean?
Is he not? I think that
he done got himself to this point.
Yeah, sing a song.
He done got himself to the point of being worth $1 billion.
Jangling.
Can't be no dumb nigga to do that.
I don't know. I think you probably could be.
I don't know too many dumb niggas that build themselves up from out the hood in Chicago to be worth $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't no smart motherfucker.
It happens more often. It depends on what you get. I mean, come on. Do you think Magic Johnson is a genius?
Well, I say he's a smart motherfucker. I ain't say genius.
Okay. Tiasha said, I heard Kanye said in his apology, oh, you seen the apology, is that he hates black people, don't stand together, so he didn't back down from what he said. Okay, that was the apology. Hell yeah, bro. A lot of people don't realize how certain states' whole economy was solely based on slavery. Oh, yes, break yourself. Oh, there we are old. Stop. I don't know why people even playing with this. Black people act like somebody owns something. What they do? Somebody does owe us something. and it's been past due, right? I mean, we talking about they even step in and block the loan forgiveness and say, well, this could cost millions and trillions of dollars. So do the fucking missiles and bombs that y'all buy to drop overseas, some of which sit forever and you don't even use them.
Right.
So do all the goddamn humanitarian missions that you conduct in every other country that's in desperate need of help, except for Africa, right? That costs millions of dollars. Taxpayers, we foot the bill for everything. Why can't we foot the bill on us? I don't want my taxes to go up. Too goddamn late. The price of everything done went up. Let's see. Kev, when they finish with that nigga, he gonna be driving trucks with me. That's what T.I. said about Kanye. Drive down the road.
Hey, you know what? I think a lot of black people like to see that subconsciously. They like to see other black people fall and crumble.
Wow. It ain't subconsciously, it's consciously. Like niggas really enjoying seeing Kanye going through this shit just because they differ in opinion on slavery and his other tactics. You know what I'm saying?
Cold-blooded, man.
I feel a lot of heat coming from the end of that couch. I feel like y'all coming at me because
nobody said nothing about. I said that. I thought about that after the comment that you just read.
I was finna say I got my shit tonight. Ain't gonna be no unsolicited bangs on no.
Because I mean, really, because you know what I mean, because right now, like that's the whole conversation though. Like Kanye going broke or he ain't going
right. He should have watched his mouth.
You know what I mean?
Like, they sound like
switched from he said some dumb shit to you know what I mean? It's just crazy. You know what I mean?
He should have watched his mouth. Like that's like nigga, you should have never even tried to free yourself. Like it's that same shit. Like, see, get back here with us.
How it sound.
You keep your mouth right and be a good boy like us. Like, you know, that's what it sounds like.
You shouldn't have said that about them Jews.
Wow.
And slavery because And I sent you that shit that said even from the beginning of that shit, people fought to avoid it.
Nobody ever doubted. Listen, Tiasha Arthur said, why did the owner of Adidas drop him? And he not too long ago became an ex-Nazi. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, come on. Who didn't do business with South Africa?
Man.
Talk about the bank that dropped him. J.P. Morgan Chase had to come back and apologize for their involvement in slavery a couple years back and create a scholarship. I mean, it's always, Trump.
I think Volkswagen.
I was watching Boyce Watkins, Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Yeah, I seen it.
And he was talking about how Adidas plummeted 200.
Oh yeah, they dropped, but they've been dropping all year. Like they
know what I mean? Like their whole thing was Kanye. You know what I mean? It was his shoe. They can't sell it now. They fucked.
He said, Deion said them people gonna destroy that man. He said, nah, it's not a motherfucker want to see him fall. It's just showing you that if you raise up against the system, it will bury your ass. No cap.
Yeah, and that's how they want us to believe. You know what I mean? We all need to be fearless.
You gotta give them kudos
and willing to go against that shit.
That's like saying, see, if you try to escape slavery, they're gonna whip your ass. Don't go against it. I mean, shit, I
They've
get a
been doing this
nigga
since the beginning of
props
time.
for trying.
I even seen Farrakhan say he don't hate Jews. No man can fight this. I don't think. Do we have to hate Jews? Why does this?
It ain't about hate.
See, they
He even said he don't hate Jews.
They flip shit. Whenever you say a fact that will expose a motherfucker for who they really are, they gonna have to turn it to hatred real quick.
Nobody
to get
said nothing about hating Jews.
Right.
I wanted to ask the people out there, especially y'all. Let me know what y'all think too. Why does anytime you speak out against Jews or anybody in that for that matter in this country, it turns into, well, you must hate them. It's the same thing with homophobia. It's the same thing with racism. It's the same thing. Anytime you say, well, they did this or they did, oh, you must hate them. Like
they either gonna say that you hate, they either gonna call you crazy or they're gonna say that you hate a particular group of people because they try to kill your credibility. That's what that is. Like Dave Chappelle was saying, like as soon as somebody says something people don't agree with, they automatically label them as crazy because they try to kill your voice. Because now people gonna dismiss you as, oh, that's just that motherfucker being crazy, or that's just that motherfucker being hateful right now.
They did that to everybody except Trump because he got away with saying whatever the fuck he wanted to for a long time. Dion says people really have to understand that this shit is deeper than Martin Luther King and all other civil rights leaders. This system is unbreakable. You know, for me, I think it's very interesting what y'all said.
Oh no, it ain't unbreakable.
I want to go back to what y'all said just for a second because I don't personally enjoy, and I'm speaking from my perspective and other people who I've spoken with that are of a like mind. It's not necessarily a sense of enjoyment to see him suffer, at least on my behalf. If you out there and you spiteful like that, where you like, yeah, motherfucker, that's on you.
But you gotta be real.
Work. You got some personal work to do on your own. But this is the thing with Kanye. Stupid is as stupid does, right? And so if he wasn't so scatterbrained, I think a lot of people would be more in line with him. And I keep saying this, Kanye needs us. He needs us, but the problem is he's not on code. I guarantee you he care more about Kanye than he care about us. Every now and then he'll throw some shit in there. It's like, you know what? Kanye is kind of, him and Charleston White are kind of like the same person to me.
Should you care about yourself more than you care about everybody else?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying to have love for us, to have love for us on a empowerment level. Of course.
No, I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying.
He's not, you know.
Me personally, I don't give a fuck about Kanye. What stands out with me is the mindset of the masses. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck Kanye and all that shit. Like he just like that drunk uncle that's gonna say some real shit every now and again, but a lot of other shit out their mouth.
Most of the time he just drunk though.
Right. You know, I mean, yeah, he said this shit. Like there is shit I agree with him on. There's shit I disagree with him on. You know what I'm saying? But
you have a right.
Right.
It's like, you know, this ain't me being some kind of celebrity fan because I don't give a fuck about Kanye. I ain't listened to that nigga in forever since he made the gospel album. And you know, but it goes back to that mentality of the masses. Like even Fam saying, I mean, he feel the system can't be broke and it's deep, and that's his perception. And as long as he has that perception, it can never be broke. And yeah, it goes deep as the Vatican and England and Israel. Like them the motherfuckers that got their foot up the US ass. So it is a big ass system that has plenty cells of elite, maybe even reptilian motherfuckers. I don't know. But for me to ever feel like it can't be beat, fuck that. I'm gonna keep trying as long as I'm here.
She said, Tiasha Arthur said, I heard he didn't say that he hate them. People are running with his statement and shit to it. Absolutely. That's why
he went to DEFCON.
Dominating.
He's a rapper. That's like a motherfucker saying, I'm about to spaz out on the, you know, I'm about to jap out. I don't even think
stupid. It's all stupid.
You know, I'm going DEFCON. You know, that's
for them to go this far based on what he actually said is ridiculous. Now here the whole thing is. I want to get back to break yourself. Get back to reparations because Kanye is dominating our minds to the point right now where it's getting a little weird, right? Like because every day I end up talking with somebody about this dude.
He might be the latest distraction to keep us from
I'm
how
saying.
the
There's
Ukraine is
there's other
still.
things going on. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said let's talk about some other shit. I like, and we'll get back. We gonna get back to Kanye because it's unavoidable. Like throughout the show, because somebody's gonna make a comment or right. So we'll be back on the shit, right? Like it doesn't matter. I want to still get back to reparations, and I don't think most people understand what reparation means. I don't think they understand, how does one qualify for it? And has anybody ever received this? The United States has reparated many different
Yes,
right?
plenty.
And this belief, especially in the conversation with the system that we're up against, there's a belief amongst a lot of people of color that this system will never acquiesce to give us black people reparations because they say, well, that's too much like them admitting that they did wrong. Well, I got news for you. They've already done it in several states. The other night I said we're closer to reparations than we even know. So when you talk to somebody who's unaware, you get misinformation. They say, we ain't never get that. What's wrong with you? They didn't never pay us like that. And I'm here to tell you, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, Alabama, New Jersey, Florida, California, Illinois, these are all states that have in some form or another legalized some sort of reparation platform for what has happened in their state, right? To people of color. And there's even more places where lawsuits are now going through the courts because of race massacres here and there, not just Rosewood or not just Black Wall Street, like we talk about in Oklahoma, in Alabama, in Florida. There's places where things have happened to black people and they had to come back and say, look, we apologize and we do agree that there should be something given. As a matter of fact, as close as Evanston, Illinois, and people forgot about this, when they legalized marijuana, Evanston hurried up and said, well, let's figure out how we can use some of this marijuana money to provide reparations for the African Americans down here. I don't know where that's at now, but this is how close we are to it. But as long as we are walking around, I don't know, we never get that. They ain't gonna let us have that. That's just like, I guess what Rail's point was that if you believe the system is unbreakable, it is. If you believe reparations are unattainable, they are. If that's what you believe,
Right.
you know
Whether
what
you
I mean?
believe you
Crazy,
can or
man.
you believe you can't, you're absolutely right either way.
At one point growing up, we taught to believe you could do anything. Anything can be achieved if you believe, right?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But where did that get fucked up to where it's like you can't say this, you can't cross this line. Man, fuck that. We should be able to do whatever the fuck we want to do. I feel like if more of us keep trying to keep going, it's gonna happen.
If you do what you need to do to get it done, once again, we're going about 5 different directions on this because you have people who say we just flat out won't get it. You have people who say I'm not gonna vote. You have people who say I don't give a fuck about politics. You have people who say, man, I'm doing me. I'm not worried about it. That's a bunch of different directions. When I say your local politicians, where it should start at, when you demand that they bring forth referendums that approach reparations in some shape, form, or fashion. Listen, we should have one hell of a case here in Milwaukee. As a matter of fact, I believe it's State Farm, one of these places, and this is rest in peace to Chris Johnson, because this is something he used to talk about all the time. They actually paid millions and millions of dollars to the NAACP in Milwaukee years ago for the practice of redlining in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You see how close I'm saying we sitting on reparations and saying we'll never get it. Now, what happened to that money? Right? Right. There's a machine, and rest in peace to Chris. I don't want to, divulge none of the information that he gave me because it would incriminate a lot of people. But there was massive amounts of money missing at the end of the day. And certain people were in charge of it. And he went so far as to tell me that when he was hired as their accountant to come in and get the finances straight, when he got there, all the computers had been wiped clean. Okay. So Milwaukee has right now, I would think, because if we always talk about Malcolm, and you think about one of Malcolm's things was, I'm going to go to the United Nations and bring forth charges against the United States. Why don't we get a class action lawsuit against the city of Milwaukee for their race practices for the last 80, 90 years? when they have to intention. They say it all the time. There was a point when you guys couldn't live above Walnut, and they make the shit happy. So guess what? We're gonna rebuild part of Walnut, so you can go and remember when you couldn't go past there. That's so exciting, right? Milwaukee's strong. Listen, we have a hell of a case to take down. If nothing else, when you get done going through court with this, because we know Milwaukee loves to settle out, right? That's what they do. This would be the one where they'd have to put up and shut. You got to get an attorney for this. And when we get to court, we just gonna look at them and say, break yourself. It's the state has this surplus, this $4.3 billion surplus. Milwaukee need to borrow some of that because they need to pay the black people here for all the years. And look what it's produced. Look what it's produced. You got a city of people of color surrounded by lily white suburbs that used to just be train stations and greenhouses and farms and railroad tracks. Because as soon as you pass open housing, they was gone. If you're going to say, well, what evidence do you have of this? Well, I can say Brown versus the Board of Education was passed in 1975. Milwaukee did not desegregate schools until 1978 at the behest of a federal judge who looked at this shit and said, this is fucking ridiculous. Did y'all know it's 1978? We passed this shit in the 50s. Now, if you say, well, what that got to do with today? Look at it.
So we had our own version of Juneteenth.
Yeah.
We didn't even know it was segregated.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like, what? We can go what? We can go here. You sure? I don't want to go. I won't get no trouble. Right? Listen. And you say, well, what does that have to do with now? Look at the school system now. Look at MPS now. Didn't we just talk about the other night that black and white children have the largest learning achievement gaps based on standardized testing in this country? We just talked about it. There's no coincidence. What did white people do with their kids as soon as we got an MPS? They took them out. Well, MPS got to be 90% black now. When I went to MPS 80s and 90s, it was at least 30% white. And it had dwindled. But there was white kids at all the schools. Marshall, Custer, Vincent, all these schools, white kids. No, that shit's over. So I'm saying we have one hell of a case. Let's get Crump. If Crump want to run around an ambulance chase, hey, we got a hell of a case for you to take up. Collectively, we can put up enough money, a retainer, to get a high-powered lawyer. Say, man, we want a class action lawsuit. Break yourself. We get a $100 billion, a $2 billion settlement. Everybody can get a little check, right? It'd be Escalades and independent rap labels everywhere in this motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you, they owe us. It ain't if, it's when. Let me get my chat room. I get fired up. God damn it. Y'all get me fired up talking shit to y'all yelling at me and shit. Man, I gotta calm down. Shout out to Rock. He said sue for 10% like the church. 403 million of the 4.3 billion. I take that. I like that, Rock. Let me leave that up there. Let us get 10% of that. At that 4.3 billion down here in good old Milwaukee. And by the way, this is the largest tax base in the state. Don't get it twisted. The capital's in Madison. This city is, if it's not for Milwaukee, Wisconsin would be part of Illinois. Right? You heard me correctly. It'll be called Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, right? He said teachers have to be 70% white. Have to be 70% white women in MPS. It's a contract. Listen, white people still govern all of our systems in this city. Once again, here's more evidence for my lawsuit. When Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee, discrimination, segregation is a health hazard. Racism is health hazard. We sitting here like, no shit, Sherlock, this is what the fuck we've been trying to tell y'all for 200 years, right? Especially a health hazard for our black asses. Now, you're going to say that and you're going to take race training. I'm going to do racial training. I get the Office of African American Affairs to do racial training and sensitivity training for county employees. We're going to do DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings at all our jobs now. But you are not changing the motherfucking hiring practices. 90% of all top administrators in every department of this city or state are white people. You know how hard it is to get a goddamn state job or a city job in the city if you don't know nobody? Rail, you beat the odds. You scratching your head like I did it.
No, man, fam, I know. And then the reason I left motherfucking unemployment is because I trained the motherfucker that they made a supervisor before me. Older white dude came in off the streets. I trained the motherfucker. Next thing I know, he's supervisor. I'm like, dog, y'all still trying to pay me this shit?
Right.
I went to another department. I ain't happy here either, but it is what it is. Just keep on thugging.
Right. And I don't want nobody out there to be happy about their hoe and talking about shit. I work for the state. I work for the city. Okay, well, that's you. Look around. It's in your office, and I bet your boss is white. Right now, if we're gonna get nasty with it, and I tell you what, yes, they'll let us be deputies. Yes, they'll let us be firefighters. They'll let us be garbage men. We can work construction on the street. But what about the administrators, the people who running shit? Where them jobs at? Where's the diversity there? Right? You look at social services. Who is the top tier people in social service? More often than not, it is a white man or a white woman coming to the ghetto. I'm going to help these poor little niggers. Everybody in the goddamn agency make a little bit of money except the goddamn VP, president or whatever
You might see a black woman.
You will. Yeah.
But I don't see too many black men.
Right. Well, okay. I stand corrected. You right.
I mean, they still few and far in
Right.
between, but they be up there.
Sisters will get up there, right? But nobody's looking at what's really going on with it. See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody don't give shit about black men. Nobody cares about Father's Day. This is fuck us. We're disposable, right? Like this. You got dykes around. I said dykes. I mean lesbians.
Oh shit, man.
Here
they come.
With strap-ons that they have replaced men, right? We get a surrogate. We don't even need you to have a baby no more. Me and my girlfriend will get a surrogate and have a baby. So what? Nobody gives a shit about black men. That's why we really got to get on code and get our shit together. That's why we really should be saying break yourself. Because once again, this is happening on our backs. Let me see. Rock said no. No one has this type of contract. I lived in 10 cities. This is the worst governed state in America. I totally believe you, Rock.
Damn. You know what? My pops not used to say it, because he still say that shit. Because he used to drive trucks. He like, son, I just want you to get out of Wisconsin so you can see how racist Wisconsin is. Because, I'm looking through the frame of Milwaukee. It's only niggas in Milwaukee. Well, it ain't only niggas in Milwaukee, but I'm looking at that, but he like, nah, go outside of Milwaukee and Wisconsin. He like, you will see it is still so racist. He was like, but I never get treated like that in any other state, even the South.
Huh. And
but I thought, I thought that was just his perspective. But now you saying that, shit. I guess it is what it is.
Every state I've been in, I've seen racism. I've been in some different states and some different cities.
I mean, he's seen it, but he said like down south it ain't even like it's up front. You know what I'm saying? They ain't hiding it. It ain't malicious. It's just them. It's just encoded in them.
I don't know if that's better.
I mean, it ain't better, but I'm just saying what he said. His way.
If people say, yeah, down south, we good down there. Down there, Mississippi, the poorest state in the union. They education system is worse than ours, and Brett Favre stealing all the welfare money. So go back down south. Look, for what? Fuck you going back? Listen, if we go in mass, if we move in mass to the south, guess what's gonna happen? More racist shit gonna start happening to us again. We'll be back up north in 2 years. Because then they gonna be down there like, oh, here they come again. Billy Bob, we're not gonna let these niggers move in here this time with that bullshit. And then it'll be the same way it was back in the days. There's no safe place for black people in America. If you living in the state and you feel comfortable, it's so good here. We got it so good here. Tell me where you at. Tell me, don't call me or talk to me and say, I got a good job. So it's all good for us down here.
What about the states that they might not necessarily be good to black people, but like the states with prominent black, like Georgia, they got a lot of different, little duck offs where there's elite black, or not elite black people, but well off black people, or like I think they said Kentucky is popping for black folk right now. So I heard there's some little places that's popping up. I think they said Kentucky good for black tech or something. But what about those? I mean, even if your state is racist, but you got like your own little community in it, does that kind of help the shit?
Well, you can have that, and that's great if you have a situation in your city where we have a consortium here of Negroes who do pretty well financially, right? But look at what they got to fight. So even in Georgia, What's going on? Ahmaud Arbery was in Georgia. How many racist incidents have we seen happen in Georgia? And I'm just using Georgia.
True.
Because there's, I hear you in the boom. There's supposedly outside Memphis, in Tennessee, in North Carolina, a lot of black
like little duck off
Arizona,
places. Right?
Black people are looking, but we've always been looking for some. That's why we left the South originally. Oh, where can I go? Where it's better for me? And then you get here, and it's still racism. It's just different. So instead of a white person, nigga, get off the sidewalk. Here, coloreds may not use this sidewalk. It's just a sign that says it's just
right.
It's the same shit.
It's that underhanded shit, that right. Democrat shit.
So that's two hookers who pimp walk up to him. He slap one and he backhand the other one, and the one who got slapped say, "Damn, he backhanded you. That shit was worse." No, y'all both got the shit slapped out of you. What are you talking about? So let me get my chat. Y'all got me wired, man. I'm on like sonic steroids. Whites in the South are different from whites in the North. I can believe that. Blacks in the South are different from blacks in the North. We there's differences geographically. We all have differences based on our region. Whites in the North try to exert their dominance over black, white in the South. They feel like they already proved their dominance. I think that white people in the North don't have to do anything because everything's so institutionalized. Because think about it like this. In the northern part of the country, especially in the colder parts of the country, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, that whole little circle out there, the Northwest, where black people generally don't want to live in cold places. Maine, the Northeast, they don't want to be there, right? So they have towns and provinces and areas where it ain't been a black person living there in 70 years. There's real existence of, it's some places in northern Wisconsin where a black man ain't never lived in their town. They have the ability to do that. We're gonna go and have a town in this way. We ain't let no niggas in here. We can't do that. We always got to be a guest in somebody. Well, can y'all got some space for us to build us a house? Or if you move up there, they say, nigga, you stay here or here.
You know what's gonna happen? You better not move there. They're gonna blow that whole town up.
The whole town. How the whole town?
Here go them niggas again.
Right.
I mean, well, shit, people can't even go to Wauwatosa without being.
Y'all remember Black Wall Street?
We're getting signs and letters.
Y'all remember Black Wall Street?
And how many people we've had from the city say, man, shit, since I moved to Brookfield or Wauwatosa or Cedarburg, it's cool and calm and quiet until they pull your ass over or they come by your house one day and fuck you up. And I'm going back to the city. This is bullshit. Yeah, well, you knew that when you came. It's just, this is why we have to demand our reparations so that we can start our own shit. We got to get a piece of the pie. So, and I ain't talking about, $50,000. I'm talking about the billions of dollars that they work with. This is how they are able to establish their stronghold. They work with billions all the time because they do. If the Kanye shit ain't showed you nothing else, told you we was going to bring him up again. If it don't show you nothing else, it shows you how they work together. One motherfucker got pissed, they all left. Not one black person has proposed since Balenciaga dropped him. All black people, we ain't fucking with Balenciaga no more. Go ahead.
You know how the saying goes. You got to reveal the heel, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't know something. You can't fix nothing in you unless you know something is wrong with you. Whatever it is that's wrong, you know what I mean? You got to be able to. You got to acknowledge what's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So let's look at it like this. Kanye is acknowledging some shit that's wrong. Well, now it's up to us to figure out what the fuck is we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he maybe he's sacrificing a whole bunch of shit. Like, man, look at here, y'all. Look, this is what's really happening. You know what I mean? He got enough money to stand it. Like I say, he's gonna be able to weather that storm. We couldn't weather that storm. You know what I mean? But you got to reveal the heel. You know what I mean? Maybe we got to really acknowledge this shit. Now everybody out here talking about these different perspectives of it. You know? I mean, the conversation is needed, at least.
Shout out
my bad.
I was just saying what's up to my cousin. Shout out to Mariah Johnson. What's up, little sis?
Peace.
Go ahead, Real.
Well, the thing with Kanye, I think he was already in one shit storm, and while reacting to like that one, he got into another. He was he was still going through with his ex-wife and all that bullshit. a person in their right mind who has a healthy mental capacity with his money would be able to weather the storm. Like I'm not worried about his bread. I'm more worried about his mental state because he was batty before this shit. You know what I'm saying? He a batty nigga that say some shit sometimes that's right. He just say it in a batty way to where it can't be received by everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I love your drunk uncle theory. Hey, I love that because
shit,
that's so real. You know? Because I've had uncles who you catch him sober, he gonna drop jewels, but most of the time he ain't sober when you catch him. So you usually can't depend on him giving you nothing of value, but some bullshit. It's
Hey, and I ain't saying Kanye is being strategic as far as what I just said. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying is the way the universe works. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way the universe works, the conversations need to be had so different shit can be said. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
It was a point in time when our people was the whole earth. You dig what I'm saying? We got to understand this shit on what's happening, on what we up against. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
We can't be scared to talk about the shit. A motherfucker can't be scared to push that button. Man, fuck them people.
I think most people's issue with this is he didn't do what he did out of a sense of crusading or doing something for the people.
Right.
He was having a tantrum at the time.
The common belief is that that he said what he said in one of his rants, and it's costing him. Now he wants to turn and try to play the race card. So ultimately, you're using us. You're doing what Black Lives Matter did. You know, you're posing. You don't give a fuck about us, and you didn't have any intention on doing anything righteous. Maybe you did something righteous on accident, though. Sometimes accidents are innovation.
Right. And then even when he was on that shit about with the red hat, you know what I mean? It was shit that he was still on. He was on back then. That was real shit, but it was a lot of motherfuckers that was scared to look at it. Like he was talking about the imprisonment shit. You know what I mean? Getting motherfuckers let out. He tried to free Larry Hoover. I mean, it was just different. It was other shit that he was on that made sense, but he was just still saying this bullshit too. You did what I'm saying? Right. Like through this whole time, it's been like that. You did?
Right.
It's been like that. He'll say his shit, but then behind the scenes, he's doing real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. But yeah, I just feel like this, man. The way the universe works, we supposed to be having these conversations. He created this situation for us to talk about, man.
The Trump shit was inexcusable.
But I don't feel like we should disrespect each other during these conversations. Because that's where it go a lot of the time.
The Trump shit was buck dancing. There's no excuse for that. That was out of pocket. And you know, if he wanted to have a conversation with Trump about freeing Larry Hoover, then let that be the conversation. All that extra shit with the hat and sitting. I love this guy, and I want to hug him.
It may be, but again, that's what I said. We don't agree with everything everybody do. I was just saying that it was a couple things that he was on that was like I was able to get with. I didn't agree with the red hat either. You know what I mean?
Even white people were saying that's some coon shit. They was even maybe they wasn't. Maybe they wasn't. I don't know. I'm gonna say they said it. Fuck it. They lie on us all the time. I can lie on them if I want to. He said, Dion said, I feel like the whites in the South are more respectable than whites in the North. I don't believe so. You got some nasty ass trailer park, ignorant, inbred, motherfucking racist sundown town crackers.
Drag you by the truck with a chain in the truck. I don't
see that. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. We just
catch you on a dark road and hang your motherfucking ass white.
George Zimmerman. I'm riding around with signing bags of Skittles, right? Like, come on. He said, I was just telling the guy today it's more acceptable for a black man to live in the country in the South than to try and move in one of the country towns like Clinton, Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can go down there, but once again, I have so much family in Mississippi. And shout out to Mississippi. It's a great place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. There's absolutely nothing there. There's nothing there for me. We have all this beautiful land and it's great. I love it. My shout out to my grandparents and my elders who preserved that, who came from nothing and said, we managed to own a piece of this and we left it. And this is what the second, third generation in some cases of us who own this land. But what am I gonna do? Am I gonna move I mean, nah.
Shit, you can sell some of it to me.
Well, see, I can't grow hemp like you, real. Now I'm a farmer. I'm not no fucking farmer. I know how to do it. I grew up in a
weed
country
and
ass
watermelon, fam. Weed and watermelon.
Not
Sending them both up here.
Not the life for me. Not the life for me. That's not. Now to invest and start that enterprise down there is something that I would like to look into. If we could
let me know
collectively as a family, hey, let's invest on and my uncles have business. A couple of my uncles who live up here have business ventures down there. Like I got cows or I got goats or whatever down there. So but it's just that's not my life. But you damn right, Clinton, Wisconsin is not gonna welcome you when you roll up with your U-Haul. Where the fuck is he going? Right?
Where is that at? That's up north somewhere.
Yeah. Anytime you ain't heard of it, it's up north. Anytime that they say Wisconsin,
see, I just know they still had Klan rallies up north, so I'd be like, shit.
In Beloit, not even north. In Beloit.
I think that Janesville. I think Janesville was like the headquarters or something.
Yeah, Janesville. Yeah, Janesville is right. He said, They're gonna put the IRS on his ass and they're gonna tear his ass off. They might. He said Deion said he want to buy land in Mississippi or Arkansas. My brother loves it. Down there now. Man. My brother swore off Milwaukee. He hate Milwaukee. He tell me all the time, you the dumbest motherfucker ever. Fuck Milwaukee. I'd be like, damn, bro. Yeah, my brother hate Milwaukee. he said I'd rather sit in the woods and listen to the bugs and the crickets and the animals than to sit and watch these stupid ass motherfuckers flying up and down Capitol killing each other. That's my brother.
I'd rather do that than a lot of shit. Sit in the woods and listen to the animals.
Right. You know what? Put me in the woods, but I gotta have a hell of a house built because I'm not really trying to be. Listen, I spent a lot of time in Mississippi growing up, so I'm not talking about something I don't know. I'm not talking about like turf that I'm unfamiliar with. I spent some time down there. Everything in Mississippi bite. Ants, worms.
It want to fuck you up down there. Everything want to fuck you up down there. I went to a blues fest down there a couple years in a row. And God damn, them mosquitoes is horrible, man.
Wasp this big that just build a crib on you, build a whole project on your porch. You're like, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's a wasp nest. It's shit just waiting in the bushes to bite you. And as soon as this motherfucker walk by, I'm gonna bite the shit out of him. It's like, dude, when we would leave the house, my grandmother said, y'all watch out for this. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit on the porch. Well, when you sit on that porch, watch out for the wasp nest. But fuck it, I'm just gonna stay in the house. Well, it's ants crawling under the door. Watch your feet. Right? It goes on. It was never cool for me. So I'm just not. I like the country life, but I'm more of a up north country. Like I'd be like a rancher with horses in Montana or something with some boots and a hat on and a belt. I'm not really a down south farmer dude in 100-degree heat picking watermelons. Not for me. Not for me, boss. But I mean, to each his own. But break yourself because they owe us that land too, and they've taken land from our family down there. They've stolen land down there. So if you want to go back down there and reclaim some of that shit, you should be able to do that. You should be able to bust up in the motherfucker and say, break yourself. Where my land at? You see what I'm saying? We owed everywhere. Listen, the South owes us. The East owes us. The West owes us. The North owes us. Because what part of this country didn't we build? Right? You better not say we didn't build. You didn't start the East. Do you know that's where most slaves came through into this country at, on the Eastern Seaboard? So you talking about plantations and whatnot up and down, up and through the East Coast. And you better not say the South because you know we built that shit. If you talk about the West and you say cowboys, well, who were the cowboys? And why do they call them cowboys? Because most of them was black and they was just ranch hands. So they call them cowboys. Right? So you watch even a cowboy movie and all these dudes in white riding around, he's 6 guns shooting everybody. That shit wasn't real at all. Because the people who was doing the real work out there was the people of color. And then the Japanese people, or was it Japanese or Chinese people who laid the railroad?
Chinese.
Okay. I don't know my
and then they got fucked with too, because they had they had that law just for long ponytails. Like white people made a law just for long ponytails because that's what the Chinese people wore. But they modeled the Lone Ranger off of Bass Reeves, who was a black dude who whooped his master's ass and then hit it.
They sure did. They sure absolutely, positively did. and gave him an Indian and made up an Indian word. Kemosabe ain't even no motherfucking word. We walk around calling each other Kemosabe.
Hey, that song still be hitting though. That whoa, Kemosabe, big balling is my hobby. What's the Cash Money and shit?
No, go say that shit to no Native American. Hey, Kemosabe.
And so but the thing about it is, like, they used to show the commercial, and I don't know, because I don't think Tonto was Native American. I don't think Tonto was Native American on the show. And then when we were little, they had the commercial with the Indian who was crying about the Indian. He was Italian.
He was Italian guy. Yeah.
Hey, forget about it. Like, what is
crying about litter and shit.
Right. There's garbage everywhere. First of all, it's the 70s. Why you still dressed like that, Kemosabe? Like, this is crazy, man. Motherfucker in the village, like Indian, is macho, man. Listen, this country is so, no wonder Hollywood is in America, is one of the biggest parts of America, because we love to make shit up. We love to make up a story about us. We don't let the truth stand in. That's what the Woman King showed you. Never let the truth stand in the way of a great story. Because a lot of people said, Kev, it was a great story, though. It was a good-ass movie. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And I bet you it is, because that sister knows she can act. But goddamn it, it's based on, it's formulated on a bunch of lies. And that's hard for me to get past. So we know America will put on, right? They'll put on for some shit. We celebrate the 4th of July. Motherfucker, really celebrate the 4th of July, and black people be the biggest celebrators of it. Yeah, 1776. Where was our black ass at in 1776? Not even allowed in the room. I mean, they got us. That's how mentally warped they got us. And then they threw us a bird and said, no. Y'all independence is Juneteenth Day. It was about 100 years later. But here's the kicker. Y'all didn't know. So now when y'all found out, we're going to make the holiday about that. Like, shouldn't the holiday of Juneteenth be on the actual day that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed? Not when the slaves who didn't know about it found out? Because there was slaves in the other part of the country that knew it. So is it delayed? Is there a delay? Right? Like, it should, if we say Juneteenth Day, let's make it on the day that the fake ass Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Right? Instead of, no, we're gonna wait on them motherfuckers in Texas. Then we gonna party like a motherfucker. And what was it, 3-4 years before? So you was only half free,
man.
Kind of free if you live in Texas, right? Like, it's like, man, and we take those bones and we say thank you so much. We so glad. Like, we be so happy when white people like our shit. Matter of fact, I put up it was funny, and I got a lot of people laughing about it. I put up a thing in the People's News Network that said the top 20 Caucasian rappers. Right?
Yeah, I seen that.
We love white people so much. Please accept us. Please love me. I'm so glad you came. I watch most stand-up comedians, and when they come out and they see white people, the first thing they say is, oh, we got white people here. You know I'm doing good at white people here. Why is that your mantra? House full of black people who paid to get in here. Shouldn't it be in reverse where you say, I'm so glad to see my people in here looking good? Fuck y'all white people. I don't even know why y'all here. Don't you say that. That's like they told Kanye, hey, man, hold on, Kanye. Hold on. We know you off your meds. And I think that's what most people were worried about. Like, he ain't all there in the head. So it's, it's the kind of like, so I disagree with y'all when y'all was saying most people want to see him fail. I think people just like, well, that motherfucker crazy. And the Jewish people know.
I only said that because, we see a lot of that in the community.
True.
I see it on my status.
I ain't just saying that about Kanye. You know what I mean? I'm just saying a lot of black people like to see other black people fail.
Well, it validates their not trying. See, that's why I don't even try, man. Cause look at that nigga. He had it going on, and look, he back where I'm at. Like, it gives them a sense of justification for not trying and shit.
Yes, it does. Very good point, Rel. Yes, it does. See. Now back to what you were saying about, you did send a video to our group about people. Nobody ever said people didn't try to stand up and fight slavery. And I don't think in the grand scheme of things that's what the conversation is really about. There's no doubt that people stood up and tried to fight back, but the people who didn't fight back, it wasn't a choice.
Well, I know, but
saying
right there is, but that was right there. Where
so okay, say we got two people, right? One person is getting dragged the fuck off to the boat. The other person was getting dragged, but he bit somebody, start shuffling away. They shot him in the back. He died. He did die for trying to escape, for exercising that choice. Like again, we can't. And this is my point, because no
choice we don't want to make.
And I don't judge anybody for. I mean, I'm here because somebody chose to just live another day, no matter what they had to do. And I give reverence and gratitude to that ancestor who said, you know what, I'm just gonna make it to tomorrow out of hopes that somebody in my lineage tastes freedom one day safely. You know, I'm not taking anything from them. Today, fam, I did not want to go to work, but I chose to get my ass up because I have a family to support. You know what I'm saying? I could say, well, I ain't got no choice. I got to feed myself. No, actually, I do have a choice, or just like somebody, like my mom used to tell us, like, you gotta, I do this because I love y'all, but understand there's women who drop their kids off on doorsteps every day. So I choose to be a mother daily because I love y'all. I don't have to be. So like, we got to understand that just because two different people somebody hopped off the boat and drowned. They said, I'd rather choose to drown than to go through with whatever the fuck these people trying to do to me. You know, so just because the choice isn't like just because it's a fucked up choice does not negate the fact that it's a choice and an option. That's all I'll be saying, man.
First of all, the number,
you know, no disrespect to either one.
The number's 262-202-5131. It is Outlaw Radio. Break yourself. You gotta say it like that when you say the show.
Right there.
You gotta say it. You gotta say break yourself.
That,
now, I would counter with this. The way you're using the word choice is all wrong. And that's the problem with that
having
statement.
Options and
no. Hold on. Once again, the way you're using the word is irresponsible.
Okay.
In regards to this conversation, it's very irresponsible, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because a baby who is born into 3 generations of slavery and knows no better is living his or her life, and you add on top of that you have a group of people who have been told illicitly and erroneously that, listen, if you just persevere here, God will bless you in the afterlife. That's why old people were saying, oh, Lord gonna take care of me. I'm gonna go live by his side.
By and by, when the morning comes, this
child who's born and goes through their life, and they say, well, this is the law.
I see what you're saying.
This is how it is. Now, is there one person who say, fuck this is bad, and I'm leaving? Yes, they chose to leave. They chose to run. They made that decision. But that's not to say that other person is saying, well, I'm choosing to be a slave. They said, no, I'm not.
No, I ain't saying that.
That's not my understanding.
What I'm saying.
That's what they're saying.
I choose to remain a slave.
I feel what you're saying, but just like cops say, ignorance of the law is just because you ignorant of your options does not negate the fact that if through awareness, and that's what I tell. Through awareness, you may have more options than you ever thought you did.
I just love how people like to assume that people during this time were like us, where they were so in the know. First of all, it was illegal for them to even know how to read. They didn't
no, I understand.
Education. People at that time wasn't traveling from town to town. Nobody was sending text messages. People lived in certain parts of the country. This is during the time when most people were born, raised, stayed, and died in the same town. They never even left. They never even left the state. Majority of the people. These people were living thinking this is life. Regardless of this is the way life is. This is just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
Right. And they were also taught against running.
Right. No, I mean, no.
They were taught not to run, right?
They were taught not to run.
But what I'm saying is this: they were taught not to run. So that also means that they knew of an option to run.
Not all slaves.
They're not run, they're gonna kill you. You know what they're gonna do. If you decide to run, they're gonna kill you.
All slave masters didn't tell their slaves
cross the gun line.
Not all of them. Not all of them ran their plantation that way.
Will be dealt with accordingly.
That's inaccurate. not all plantation masters warned their slaves against running. In a lot of cases,
the parents did.
They
Parents taught them that.
In a lot of cases, the slaves stayed there. When they found out they was free, a lot of slaves said, "This is life. What you talking about?"
Right. I choose to be
They chose to stay.
It wasn't no we gonna run. Nobody was running. Where you going?
Stay.
Where you gonna go? No, it wasn't a choice though. It wasn't. No, man, come on, be slaves with us.
So it was only a choice. It was only a choice when they found out they can leave.
It was a no. That's not what I'm saying at all. Once again, I think you're using the word choose and choice. I think that word is being abused.
What's the definition of choice? Like, what is the definition?
Give me the definition of choice.
A baby can't make a choice. Kids can't make choices. They can't. They grow out of it. They mature out of things. So no kid can say, I choose. Your baby at 3 gonna say, I don't want to live with you. I'm making a choice. I'm gonna go on my own. I'm going to Ohio because it looked better on TV.
Shit, Kevin.
They born into this shit in their life until they grow out of it. So until we got to the point where, okay, now this conversation has come about. Now we have abolitionists. Now we have a real funk in this country where slavery is a major issue. Now that choice becomes more apparent. But for the previous 200-300 years, it was what it was. It wasn't no we choose.
If it was revolts to break free,
from the beginning all through.
Yeah, from the beginning about revolts.
If people ran, they had slave catchers. Who were they going to catch? Well, hold on, Kev. Who were the slave catchers going to catch? They were going to catch the slaves who chose to run, to get away from this shit, who chose to get out of this shit.
That even though they chose to run, that doesn't mean the people who didn't run were choosing.
That was the choice they made.
They weren't choosing to be slaves because they didn't run.
Or run.
No, that's not the choice. That's
the choice is stay or run. It is a choice. How is it not?
That wasn't their life. It wasn't well, run or stay.
That ran it was.
Well, I'm here. I have no choice but to be here.
The slaves that ran it was.
My grandmother. My mother was raised in the Jim Crow South. My grandmother and my grandfather had 13 kids. As fucked up as the South was, where was they going? Let's go run. What my great grandparents I'm just gonna run. It wasn't an option. Oh shit! It wasn't an option for everybody.
There was people who ran, Kev.
Yeah, it was.
I feel what you're saying.
So for the people that ran, that was their life.
It wasn't. That doesn't mean the people who didn't run were choosing to be slaves because they didn't run. I choose to be. I'm not gonna run.
They chose to stay.
No, they stayed because that's all they knew. No, they chose not to run. They didn't even have a choice. This is life. I'm not going nowhere.
They heard.
So if you see if the nigga next to you took off running, and you say, "Nah, man, good luck with that shit," but I'm just gonna see this through. Did I not just choose not to follow that motherfucker or run alongside?
No, he chose to run. I'm finna live my life. That shit don't got nothing to do with me. I'm living my life. I don't.
There were people. And no, that's what I'm saying. Neither choice is wrong. That's what.
That's the choice,
no, but
man.
that ain't wrong. Like if they chose to stay there, it's not wrong. It's not bad. Like
if he look at you and say, "Hey man, I'm finna run. You coming with me?" Okay, now your decision, your choice is: do I go with him or do I stay? There's the choice.
Okay, so but if he runs and I say I don't go and I'm a slave,
you made a choice to not go.
I choose to be a slave though.
You made a choice.
And that's cool. That's cool though.
I'm choosing,
and that's fine.
That's him. I'm not choosing.
Cool.
No, I'm gonna stay here.
He made a choice to go. You made a choice not to go.
Not a choice. It's not. They didn't have a choice. They didn't have no choice.
He made a choice.
It wasn't an option.
He used the option. He exercised the option to run.
Yeah, he had a whim. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna move.
Well, that was an option.
But it doesn't mean because I didn't run,
it was an option because he did it. It was an option because he did it.
It doesn't mean
it just means that you chose not to run. That's cool, and it's cool. You just chose not to run, and that's cool.
I chose to be a slave because I chose not to run through the woods with this motherfucker.
Everybody choose different paths.
No, it's not.
Everybody choose different paths. If one person chose to run and one person chose not to run, both people are cool. You cool with whatever you do.
Choice. When you bring people over on boats, I don't care how many jump out, I don't care how many fight back. When you lock a motherfucker down and say, sit your ass here and do this work, they don't have a choice. It's not a choice. It was never a choice. And so, once again, If a motherfucker decide to run, that's him. I don't do monkey see, monkey do. Motherfucker, he run, I'm running. Oh, let's run. No, motherfucker, I got 17 kids here. This is my life. I'm living my life. That's you. You do you.
You ever heard about that experiment with the 5 monkeys and the ladder? You ever heard about that experiment?
I
never
heard about
okay. There's 5 monkeys. This is an experiment. 5 monkeys ladder. There's bananas at the top of the ladder. So when one monkey start climbing the ladder for the bananas, the scientists spray the other 4 monkeys with cold ass water to the point where now when a monkey starts to go up the ladder, the other 4 whoop his ass so that they don't get sprayed. So then one by one, they start moving a monkey who experienced being sprayed out and put a totally new monkey in there. That new monkey is going to try to get the bananas, but the other monkey's going to whoop his ass to eventually there's 5 completely new monkeys who never been sprayed for trying to get the bananas. But anytime somebody get the bananas, they whoop his ass because that's just the way shit is, or that's how we do it. You know, so psychology is a motherfucker, man. And yeah, slaves were put under all kind of witchcraft. I mean, it was dark witchcraft, which is psychology used wrong. So they like I said, there's levels to bondage. I'm not judging them or shitting on them if they chose to, you know, just to live, just to make it through another day. I'm not shitting on them.
You talking about monkeys in a controlled experiment in a lab by some goddamn scientists. I'm talking about a generation. I'm talking about 300 years
in a controlled
environment. It's the same shit.
That's what the project is.
That's not a science. You think Mississippi was a science experiment? Where they
started as they start if they don't do shit else,
mind to a human mind.
If they don't do shit else, they study us. They learn our shit that we forget and they use it against us. So yeah, everything started as an experiment. As we seen throughout slavery, women, unfortunately, women were experimented on for them to have their modern day OBGYN practices. Because they lied and said black women had a higher threshold of pain. Everything is an experiment with them.
But that's a different context. First of all, welcome to the show, Courtney.
What's happening?
Right, you just showed
hey.
My blood sugar was dropping when the show was starting. So
did you get some Taylor Port?
For my blood sugar, that probably helped. That's just sweet as hell. It probably would have. No, I made some nachos. I'm all right now. We got it back up. Okay. We got our levels up now.
Cool. For sure.
It's Outlaw Radio. Break yourself. We are old in this country. That was the mantra, but we reserve the right to start arguing about whatever the fuck we want to. We'll steer clear of the topic sometime and come right back to the shit. Conversations were centered around reparations and the belief that some people believe that'll never happen in our lifetime. Some people believe we're not deserving of it. Some people say, hey, we get that. We just gonna do nothing but blow the money and give it right back. So I want to kind of talk about the structure of reparations and what it could or possibly should look like. And it is not centered around cash payments. It's not centered around everybody getting a check, although that could be one option or choice if y'all want to.
They're gonna put it as housing grants and business grants or something like that.
Yeah, well, there's vouchers for college education. There's credit forgiveness. There's loans. We know that the way loans are given out is a lot of fuddy-duddiness with that in terms of black people qualifying for loans to start businesses. So it can be structured in that regard. Now, I would say if you want to say, give me my check, then you should be able to do that. You say, no, I just take that. And they send you whatever, and it's up to you. You manage it, you fuck it off, that's you. It is what it is. But it can be structured in a way where it can be effective. But I think you have to have many tiers to it. It can't just be one size fits all, where, look, you either take this or you take that. No, it should be a bunch of options where you can even structure it for your kids. Imagine somebody who's in their 60s saying, well, what I'm going to do with a whole bunch of money? Go buy a car on some 26-inch rims? I got grandkids. I like trust funds to be set up in their names, endowments to be set up in their names, so when they get 18, they can get this money or whatever. Or I'm going to pay for their college education in advance throughout, utilizing this money. So it should be many ways to get it applied to you. But I think it has to happen. And as long as we stop asking and wishing and saying, oh, We can't have it. I don't understand how every black person is not super adamant about it, because guess what? If it was as many people passionate about reparations as it was about Kanye West, we'd have had that shit 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We get on track. Kamar said on the show one time, we be worried about the wrong shit. We get excited about some shit and it'd be like, who fucking cares about that? Right? We don't keep.
That's how you feel when you think about it the next week and shit. Like that shit. Who cares?
Right.
The latest distraction. Why they trying to send more money to the Ukraine and shit?
Right under your nose. And guess what? And bringing them over here as refugees, and that's one of the most racist fucking countries you can find in Europe. They are admitted affiliated with neo-Nazis and fascism and all this shit. And when you start getting terrorists over here and you start getting terrorist acts executed, don't look around and say, why is this happening? Because you brought motherfucking all these fucked up ass Eastern European people up in here.
They gotta replenish the white population, man.
That's
they got
what
a
they
negative
doing. That's what
rate.
they doing right there. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly.
They next choice is the Chinese and making the Chinese honorary white folk, but otherwise they got to bring some Ukrainians in here to, they got to, what they say by 2030, I think it was,
and
some shit like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that ever happening. Like, you think that? Do you think there's validity to that? Do you really think white people as a race are dying out? That's a good question.
Well, the study said that they're not giving birth.
Every time I hear about a white person pregnant, they in their 40s. So I mean, if you think about how the average body can carry a baby beyond the age of 30 something, I believe it's valid. I mean, shit. I know, just going off my personal experience, all the ones I knew were on birth control because they didn't want to fuck up getting to college, and then then they got their career, and then you know what? Matter of fact, I just went to buy my kids a Halloween outfit yesterday, and the guy said, "Oh, my child's what did he say? They don't know about." Gabby's Doll House yet. They're Cocoa Melon. They just turned 6 months. This motherfucker looked all of 48, 50 years old, 6 month old. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it.
Or you see him a little mixed baby, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. They trying to keep the white culture, and y'all having these mixed babies ain't working. Every time I usually, especially in Wauwatosa, if I do see a black man, he's with a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yes.
You ever looked up the hashtag? You ever looked up the hashtag Black Bread?
No.
Go on Twitter, look up Black Bread or BLACK ACK. Damn, BLACK BRED. And there's women who like, black bread, like they're babies because they understand like the recessiveness. So they're trying to breed the dominance back into their gene pool for their sake. They know, we just don't know.
And
I know a dude that went to school in Platteville, and he told me he was out and about and maybe finna go in the store, and it was a white dude in his truck with his daughter and like stopped him and basically proposition for him to have a kid with his daughter, was gonna finna pay him and everything, brought his daughter out the whip.
Sound like daddy was gonna be coming in that room behind her. Just stay there, Terrell. Stay there, Terrell. You want this goddamn tuition paid, don't you? It wasn't about the daughter, but that was some gay shit. That was some other shit. I want to say this though. These people who control everything, right? And who have databases of DNA and who are doing more biological experiments than we even can comprehend. You think that they would allow
you talk about clones? They gonna clone
all of that. You think
they already doing it?
People would allow themselves to get in a situation where they were dying off? I don't believe that's even feasible.
You can't help that.
I think that they absolutely have so many
and these are the measures that they taken to not allow it to happen.
Right. It'll never be an issue because they have
that we going through that phase what you talking about right now.
Yeah.
I need to see evidence that they're dying off because I see more and more white people.
Well, like
there's statistics. Well, I guess unless you don't
dying off may be the wrong word. They ain't producing fast enough.
There's books that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing she quoted. It was a white dude who talked about that. If we don't get a handle on this, by 2030, white people will be the minority in America. Like, this is white people writing these books. You know what I'm saying? Saying that, hey, but if you think about it, man, damn, if you think about it, for 200,000 years, all it was black folk. In the last 6,000 years, you got white folk. You know what I'm saying? Then when you look up blonde hair, they say, what is that? Recessiveness, because dominant is dark hair. When you look up blue eyes, what they say? Recessiveness, because dominant trait is brown eyes. When you look up demelanization, they say recessive. I don't know if they still say that shit because they've been changing books left and right. But think about this. Have you ever seen a fucking albino snake in the wild? No, because as a child, it's easy to be detected and ate. And as an adult, it's easy to be seen and can't hunt. So eventually nature corrects itself, fam.
Well,
back to dominance.
You said white people have only been here for 6,000 years. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to do the math myself. It's one of them situations where I got to go look. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't. I hear
that's why the Bible don't go no further than 6,000 years ago. When you look up the genealogy from Adam up to the present, they can't take it back further than 6,000 years because it was just us.
I hear a lot of black people talking about that, and I've always looked at them and said, I wonder what's the real science behind that, because I've heard it explained several different ways. I've heard what the argument you just said about the genes and what's recessive and what's dominant. I've heard all kinds of different scenarios and stories as to the white man dying off. They're gonna be gone next year.
I think they were saying it was it the Grimaldi? I think they said it's the Grimaldi that left, went up north, got stuck behind the ice wall, and over hundreds of years of not really getting sunlight, the body had to adapt. I mean, we get vitamin D by changing sunlight into that hormone, because it ain't really a vitamin, it's a hormone. But
is there somebody out there who's listening to the show who has the
can we get a genetic scientist up on this motherfucker with us?
I am dead ass. I'm dead ass, because this is why. Because I don't want to be
for sure.
I don't want to be a platform that does. I see a lot of platforms.
The bro philosophy and bro science.
Well, no, they give a lot of philosophies and a lot of information, but some of it, the way that they give it it's not the real information. I'm not saying this is you. I'm saying like you only get part of the story. So like I can go to YouTube and I can tell when somebody's saying something somebody told them, as opposed to somebody who's actually sat down and really done the research.
I'm gonna re-listen to the Dr. Francis Cress Welsing lecture, and then I'm gonna find the book that she quoting from the white man. Then I posted in our
it don't have to be white. That's not gonna make me feel better if he white. I just need the information.
I mean, some black folk don't believe shit unless the white authority.
That's not me.
I mean, I just in case there's anybody in the room, I like to satisfy all people. I mean, if you just like knowledge, the white man will be okay for you. And if you need him to be white, the white man will be okay for you.
And with shit like this, though, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure exactly which book it is, but I think I watched that same lecture what he talking about from Francis Cress Welsing. But like a lot of the time, man, there's some white people who do write stuff like that, and they will tell the truth about what it really is.
It's a white lady that be
trying to get paid too.
Oprah.
They want to get money too, you know what I mean? So they trying to put some truth out there too. Also,
everybody ain't a shitty person. Some people just like to share the facts. You know what I'm saying? No matter what color they are. Like
I said, I want people. The one thing that we want to convey on this show is if you hear something on here, I like to know, or I want to be kind of sure that there's some validity behind it. So even if it's just the basis of it, because like what you said about the genes and whatnot, which is entirely a science, right? Like we already know genealogy and all that kind of stuff is real, but it takes a motherfucker who's done a deep dive on that to really be able to make it so they can be digested by the layman's.
I feel you.
I can't well be that motherfucker.
Because he didn't say that he was an engineer in genealogy. He said
I did take archaeology I took archaeology and anthropology in college, and that's what fucked me up when I found out that they invented whole societies off of like Paleolithic man. They had a whole society about how this motherfucker existed just to find out it was the tooth of a pig. So you got to understand that shit too. When you doing profound discoveries, sometimes you just got to satisfy the motherfuckers that's cutting that check. So you got to find a new discovery. So, I mean, yeah, I say scrutinize everything. Cross-reference everything. I'm one of them people to be, I'll tell you, even when I was preaching, be like the Bereans. Look in the book because a real ass nigga don't mind you checking up behind him because all it's gonna do is validate him and let you know he was on his shit.
And well, my first indication that somebody's fraud, if I say, well, I want to go and do some research on my own, they'd be like, oh, fuck that, see?
Oh, why you gotta look at that? Right,
now
right.
I know you a fraud. Go ahead. What you scared I'm gonna find out your ass lying? Motherfucker, go ahead. Move around with that bullshit. That's what I'm saying. You should, and nobody should
don't right from anybody.
Right, come on, man.
Even your mama, because she might have just been misinformed type shit, or your father.
Motherfucker, a lot of you based on if they got lied to, right? It said,
exactly.
My mother had a great disclaimer for that because she would say, if I'm lying behind somebody else. So don't blame it on me. Somebody told me this shit. If I'm lying, they was lying to me, so it ain't my fault, right?
Man, she had some phrases.
Yeah, mom.
Man.
She had life. She had life, man. My mother lived life. Trust me. She ain't. Her journey was ridiculous. If I ever get an outlet, if people say, "Well, you should write a book,"
Yeah,
and I've got many ideas for books. But the first thing I would write about is my mother's journey. My father too was interesting, but I would start with my mother's journey to Milwaukee from Mississippi and what really happened in the South during the times when she from the 40s to when she got here in the 60s. And so that's why I hear a lot of shit black people say sometimes, but I was raised on the lap of a person who was there, right? Like people talk about Milwaukee this, Milwaukee that. My mother would tell you point blank, no, motherfucker, I came in here in 1959, and this is what it was like. So all that shit you talking don't mean shit. I'd have done it. Me and my brother, mama, like you to set your ass down.
Right. We can't say what we would have did. We wasn't there.
Right. So a lot of my outlook on finding the truth and making sure your source is valid. Like, cause I hear like a lot of people want to quote. What's the brother you referenced first, Kamar? Clyde. I almost call him Clyde Tolson. What's his name?
Claude Anderson.
Claude Anderson. Okay, yeah.
Clyde. All right. Him and Dr. Francis Cress Welding. I hear a lot of people try to quote them, but what I've discovered is a lot of times they're misquoting them, or they saying some shit they thought the person said. When you go back and listen to, you say this ain't what the motherfucker was talking about. Yeah. But
a lot of them
they didn't actually listen. They heard somebody else say it, so they quote that.
A lot of them either quote John Henry Clark or Neely Fuller. So there's a whole spectrum. I mean, if anybody ever interested in researching us or digging deep, holla at me. I got people you can look up. I got books you can grab
a hold to it. And I would tell anybody that just don't depend on some dude who got a YouTube page trying to get followers. Like people build their knowledge off that shit. Like, man, I be watching Brother Armani. Like who the fuck is Armani Kufu? And then look, I went through a whole situation here with the RBG, and I'm telling the truth, so it ain't no lie. And they was RBG, and they was and come to find out they was collecting money to send down south to build them some vacation homes. I'm not saying no names. This actually happened, but it was a bunch of people who was running around Milwaukee wrapped up in red, black, and green flags and burning the American flag in front of the police and all this shit. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I'm saying they was all doing it based on somebody who was misleading them and lying to them. So you got to know, where your information comes from, how valid it is. That's all
power corrupts, and especially when that corruption leads to profit. So it's always a possibility, man.
Power corrupts and niggas lie, right? So both of them to be fucking true, right?
People lie.
I'll tell you what you should know. I'll tell you what I want you to know, not what you should know.
Right.
I hope y'all seen this, and I hope this makes y'all feel better if y'all always talking about running away from my city. The National Geographic has named Milwaukee as one of the best places to visit in 2023. So the best thing going is
they lying, man. That's why. I mean, when you downtown in the summer and all the festivals, like it be popping, but
I love Milwaukee in the summertime.
I love it. It's the best motherfucking shit. So hell
Man,
yeah.
Milwaukee dope. It's all kind of shit going on in the summer.
Who perspective are they?
Exactly.
Who perspective are they talking from? Because I mean, if they talking from Caucasian, particularly even Polish or German perspective, it's a lovely place. You know what I'm saying? October, you got Oktoberfest, you got summertime, you got the summer festivals. Hell, in between that, you got the lofts on the Milwaukee River. If you live in them lofts, I'm sure every day is
nice down there. I work down there. It's real nice down right over
my perspective, from my perspective, I'm seeing all the different events that we be having ourselves, you know what I'm saying, throughout the summer. All the events that I attended, the Blues Fest and all these different shits that
I was there.
You know what I mean? It's what make me feel like Milwaukee is the shit in the summertime. Now I know it's fucked up, but it's fucked up here all year round as far as crime. You know what I mean? It don't matter if it's cold or hot, motherfuckers get shot.
Well, you asked about the perspective, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
The writer there's no indicator of her perspective. Her name is Julia Marshall, but I'm gonna tell you how they broke it down. Why they said it? Why it says the list is broken down into 5 categories: community, nature, culture, family, and adventure. Milwaukee was listed under the community section. It says Wisconsin's biggest and liveliest city combines blue-collar, back-thumping energy with a close-knit creative community that's turning heads beyond the Great Lakes. Having a winning NBA team, the Bucks, doesn't hurt either. That's what the National Geographic wrote. She said it talks about the Deer District, the historic Third Ward, the Harley-Davidson Museum, and, of course, the Milwaukee Art Museum. And it says the other 4 destinations under the community category are Laos, the Dodecanese Islands in Greece. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ghana and Alberta, Canada. And it said Mayor Johnson spoke with that upon the release of the article, Mayor Johnson spoke with the Visit Milwaukee committee, saying Milwaukee has every reason to be proud of his designation. It's particularly gratifying because the global perspective Nat Geo provides when evaluating the best in the world. So, listen, I would have to agree with y'all on. I hate to agree with y'all just because I do, right? Especially Kamar and Rail. Like me and Courtney sometimes outlaws together. Kamar and Rail, they be trying to jump me and shit. Trying to team up. Hold his arms, man. Hold his arms. I'm gonna hit him in the stomach, right? Right. You doing that shit.
Real, you go high, I go low.
Right. Y'all be trying to jump. I don't be like, fuck that. I'm not agreeing. I don't care if they right. I'm not agreeing with them. Fuck, fire ain't hot. Fuck, look, I'm gonna put my hand in there. I agree. Milwaukee in the summer is the shit, and it always has been. And I've always had it. I've never had a bad summer, even if it was violence, even if shit was crazy where we had beef, and the summer was great. It was like the shit. And so I do agree with you. And the summers back in the days was even better when plenty shit was open and we could go places where it was 20, 30 clubs and motherfuckers just out here. And, we crew Capitol was packed to the max because before they outlawed cruising and all that shit.
Traffic.
That's crazy. They outlawed that.
Those was the days, kid.
Man, look, the first time I stole a car, I fucked around and ended up in motherfucking traffic. Oh, that was so exciting. I was like in 8th grade. I didn't know what I ended up in, but it was motherfucking incredible. I was like, damn, what is this?
Wait.
That was good.
How old were you?
I was in 8th grade. So we're gonna say like 14.
Okay, so I'm trying to place what was going on in the city at the time. So we're talking a good dub, at least a good dub in between. Now I want to put your age out there.
So that could have been like 2002.
Okay. Yeah, it was okay then. But I'm talking 95, 96. Some people say 85. Like the 90s was the shit, period. But in Milwaukee in the summer, it was like, damn, because it was still a whole bunch of places to go. And they, because now the nightlife is pretty limited because motherfuckers get their shit knocked off wherever they go. But back then, you still had a lot of places. Like I would come home from school, man, and be out until 5, 6 in the morning every night. My mother be like, "Dude, is you gonna spend any time at home?" But we just out here, just kicking it, man. They're having a party over here. We'll go to this bar. They're having the after hours over here, and nobody was really getting killed. It was just like, man, people was getting money, and illegal and legal. It was a good time. And then, once the killing comes back, it just kind of shit starts slowing down. So we get to where we are now, where you can't even damn near go to Jazz in the Park. Motherfuckers want to fight.
Man.
Go to Deer District. Shoot up the Deer District. Like, it's like, goddamn, can we go anywhere? But we know they're going to solve that through gentrification. So that'll soon be gone too. So especially now, since they got this designation, this is going to give momentum to the gentrifiers. Say, you know what? God damn it, they're right. This is a beautiful city. We're going to get these niggers out of here.
Mm-hmm.
See, you still want to move them to Wauwatosa? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's move them out there. Let's build some.
I want to own property along the. I want to own houses along the streetcar. Like, that's been my goal. Like, I want property down there to sit on for when motherfuckers trying to develop shit. Like, I want to own property along the streetcar route by the Deer District and on the outskirts of that area.
Man, that was shit. Once again, rest in peace to Chris Johnson, because that was his thing, his conversation, and what he did with his real estate. We would talk for hours where he would tell me, okay, Kev, this is what's coming in terms of who owns what in the city, and this is why I'm positioned like this. This is why I own this. This is why I have this property over here, his Airbnb, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's one more thing that makes me really miss Chris, because Chris would call me and say
he was on it.
Yeah, he was on it, and he knew the ins and outs of it. And he always tell me about, I did this to this property, or this is how I ran my Airbnb, and he would give me the whole gizm of it. And so, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna miss that brother, man. That'd be one of them calls where he probably done had a couple sips of wine and listened to some jazz. He didn't talk shit about politicians, so he called me, Kev. And you tell anybody I told you, I'll say you's a motherfucking lie, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. I'm like, all right, you got Chris. So yeah, we used to talk about that and how gentrification was going to go, and how it's already happening. By the way, that's another thing we talk about on this show. Let's stop saying, well, one day they gonna do this or they want to do that. They already doing all the shit. They want to lock all young black kids up. They already locking them up. They want to move us up out the city. They already moving us out the city. They want all the kids coming out of MPS to fail. They already failing. Right? Like, it's already happening. Prepare. Remember we did that show, Kamar, I think it was called, was it What You Gonna Do or what, something like that. And we were saying,
what you gonna do?
Yeah, all the shit we talk about they're gonna do, they're already doing. We stuck preparing for some shit that's already happening.
Everybody's are doing all this talking about this and that, what's wrong this here, what's wrong. But what you gonna do about it?
It's already happening. You prepare, but it's already happened, right? You still getting dressed.
And even though it's going on now, I mean, it's never too late. It's still always what you gonna do now. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass, like I said earlier, get your ass up. You know what I mean? Don't be sitting around with your head down. Get your ass up.
Yeah, we shout out people. We shout out people who are going through something, and that's a recurring, continuous theme through the show. Shout out to you if you're going through something. Shout out to you if you're dealing with some adversity. If you got you trying to come up and you dedicated to it and you doing it the right way, you operating with integrity, honesty, and truth, and you respect yourself and you respect others, but it seems like you ain't making the progress that you should be making, you got to keep going. You got to persevere. So shout out to you, because it's coming. That's right. So shout out to you. That goes without saying on Outlaw Radio. Chantel Gwen said, hello, Outlaw Radio. How you doing, my sister?
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to give a Mandela Barnes update because Courtney got on my heels the other night about Mandela Barnes. And this is funny.
Defund the police, radical Mandela Barnes. Like, they don't even just say his name now. Tax evading Mandela Barnes wants to raise your taxes. Defund the police, radical Mandela Barnes wants to leave you unprotected.
Talk about him. Say, hell yeah, you got Mandela that don't be paying his taxes.
You just missed him too. He popped up right after you left.
Did he? I would have said something like, man, you ain't the goddamn friend of the show, nigga. Why you don't come on? I would have asked him. So why you don't come on already no more? I
had a conversation with him. This is why you never send a woman to have a masculine conversation with him.
Good thing
you don't get emotional. Motherfucker, why you don't come on my goddamn show, you bitch ass? Your whole ass. I'm still your motherfucking car, bitch. And I
just want to know what the fuck going on.
We had a gentlemanly conversation in which, first of all, I haven't reached out to him, and he hasn't reached out to me in I know it's been 5 years. So once we had that show and you said that, I said, you know what, let me see what's up with this.
Yeah.
I mean, even a broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? So not that you're a broken clock, Courtney. I'm not saying you're a broken.
I be right though. That's
the point. When you put the port down, when you ain't got the port in your cup, you all right. You turn into Pimp C. When
I
you
really be right then.
Yeah, you know, come out, go to Pimp C and when she get out that port. But so check this out. I reached out to him, sent him just a random text. I don't even know if my name is saved in his phone. I don't know. This was the phone number I used some 7 years ago. So I shot it to him. He didn't respond right away. So I said, okay, I'm going to the show and I'm gonna tell the truth about this, however it happens, right? So it's not an effort to make him look good or bad. This is the honest truth to what happened. I did get a response, and he's all, "What's happening, brother? How you doing?" "I'm good. How you been doing?" Small talk. Man, you still this and that. Congratulations. Da, da, da. Yeah, it's been a minute. You get down to, okay, well, you should come on the show and talk to the people for a few minutes. And he says, man, I would absolutely love to come on, but right now I can't because my schedule is really, really, really tough. And I don't have a whole lot of flexibility. And what I said to him was, I understand. It's all good. And we can talk about something in the future where you can come on, win or lose this election. That's where I'm at with it.
And then don't be acting funny style if you motherfucking lose. Don't be acting funny style, don't want to talk because you done lost and shit. Don't be like that.
That's also part of it. And he said, well, you know what? We're gonna see what we can come up with, and we'll, I will be in touch. Stay in touch with me. And I said, cool. So then I see Kamar tonight. Kamar jumps in. Kamar, you want to give your rendition of it, or
Oh yeah, I was at the Sherman Phoenix. Me and Courtney was just there, right? Courtney was just up there.
Man, I was about to slide down and get some popcorn too. When I got off work.
Yeah, you should have. We'd have had a party, man. You should have. We'd have had a party. Hey, but check it out. Me and Courtney talked about it a little bit. Talked about the conversation that we had on the show the other night, and then after she left, I started packing up a little while, and then here he came. He came in with his entourage, and he was standing there over there by my booth or whatever while I was packing stuff up, and then he was talking to doing something. And I started hollering out, "Proud supporter of Vitality," and I was holding my T's up, right? Proud supporter of Vitality.
Carnival barker now. You would turn into a carnival barker.
Hey, so he saw me. He looked over there by me, and I guess you remember from the last time when he did buy something from me. So he reached over to shake my hand. I said, "Hey, what's happening, man? We was just talking about you on a podcast last night." And he was like, "Yeah, what podcast?" I said, "Outlaw Radio with Kevin Barnes." He said, "Oh, yeah. He texted me this morning. I was just busy and I hadn't got a chance to text him." And he pulled his phone out, right? And I guess he started replying to the text because Kev told me like later on he got the text back and then called him.
All this.
Hey, everything worked together. That's how that goes.
Hey, that's how the universe works, right?
Exactly.
So here's the deal, though. To be honest with you, I didn't expect him to say, "Okay, I'm about to." What he's doing right now is a big thing, and I didn't expect him to say, "Kev, I'll be there tomorrow." I really didn't, because I understand how shit works. Right. What this is for me is a situation of mutual respect, because he didn't disrespect me. I didn't disrespect him, right? He could have just not even when Kamar said that, he could have been like, fuck, dude.
He could have just brushed it off.
Yeah, he could have not even responded at all. He could have just said, whatever. And his conversation with me was genuine. It wasn't like he was, fagging me off.
Right.
He wasn't blowing me off. He was just saying, brother, no, I'm really up against it right now, which I understand. You got Barry coming in town. I get it. See, it's like being a rapper. Who was it when Barack Obama was running and all the rappers were saying stuff and trying to endorse him and all this? And I can't remember who the comedian was who came out and said, "Listen, I want to tell all you rappers something. Until Barack Obama gets elected, shut the fuck up. Leave him alone. Let him run his race first. Y'all gonna fuck it up for everybody." So I feel the same way. Like, dude, go win your race. Go do what you do in the future when the time comes. And there's a situation where you can come on and you have time. Come on. It don't rub me one way or another. I'm not like, oh, this motherfucker owes me. But see, we get that entitlement shit. Black people get that entitlement shit that's part of what y'all was talking about earlier when y'all was talking about people want to see Kanye suffer. They're happy. Because man, I sent that motherfucker a demo one time. He ain't never respond. Fuck him. I hope them Jews kick his ass. I hope they fuck him in his butt. No, no homo.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I was going for shock value right there.
Yeah, you did.
Right. My bad. And that's not to say that all Jewish people are gay either. I'm getting myself in more and more trouble.
Going deeper.
Right.
So there are some gay Jews. Is that what you're saying?
I digress. Right. But no, so I will say this. I still would consider him a friend of the show because we haven't had any kind of discourse that would suggest otherwise. I'll tell you this as well. DC Crowley, I still consider DC a friend of the show. Now, this one I did.
A friend of the show.
But hold on.
DC
did it even crazier because DC was just on before he got elected. It ain't like we ain't had a bigger gap. DC sat right here in his basement in his same spot with us.
Yeah, right next to me.
Here. Right. And more than once. And so when I reached out to him, he said, first of all, he didn't respond for a couple days. When he did, maybe it's because he didn't see Kamara at the Phoenix. When he did, he said, "Oh man, you got to call somebody else and tell them to set up and see what's on the schedule because I don't have a lot of time." So I don't know, Kev. I don't know what to tell you. To me, I was like, "Oh, he's fagging me off."
I just thought about something.
Fagging you off. He got a person that.
I just thought about something though.
When I said in my interview, I had to go through somebody, and they did the shit, and then he came through the crib.
Cody, guess what? That wasn't the way it was. Even when he got elected to his first joint, I called him on the phone. He said, "Kev, I'm good. I'll call my people and let them know to put it on my calendar so I remember, and I'll be over there." That's the way it went.
It be like that though, Kev. Like Dave is my nigga.
Hey, Kev, I just thought about something. Remember when he came on? He kind of was on the hot seat when he came on because we had that bill that he had his name on. Yeah, talking about taking away our right for the personal reasons for not getting the vaccination. His name was on that bill. But we did let him know before the show, so he had time to think about it and look it over and everything. You know what I mean? But that was a hot one right there.
He wasn't ambushed or hijacked, but I'm just saying. Now I think it's funny that since and Courtney is cool with Dave. She cool with him, so she said, "No, he's a friend of the show." But fuck Mandela, I don't know that motherfucker. Fuck him. That's how black people be. Like, I don't know that
nigga, man. I don't know, because sometimes just because I done felt this way, I done called people friends for a long time, and it's like, is this motherfucker really my friend? Or is this just a motherfucker I've known for a long time? You just know Mandela a long time. That's it.
Well, the show is not a person. You notice I didn't say me and Mandela were friends. I said he's a friend of the show. I didn't say he's a friend of Kevin. He ain't from Capitol. He ain't no 2-4. He's not in my family.
The show just goes a little bit.
There's a lot of people who are friends of the show who I wouldn't even spit on if they was on fire. They've been on the show and they've taken their time to come on and speak their piece, and it's good.
But they make a friend?
They're a friend of the show. Orlando's a friend of the show, and our politics are oil and water. Me and Orlando have had tremendous blow-ups. I still say he's a friend of the show. Because he respected my platform enough to show up and do what he did. When I say OVP is a friend of the show, it's a lot of people there who be like, "Fuck, dude, they always talking about us on that show." I would say, y'all friends of the show because y'all been on here. You know, that don't mean we gonna go kick it together, like let's go smoke one together or nothing like that. It just mean, hey, it's at least cordial. Because there are some people in this city who I would not even take the time to interview.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even invite them, and they're well-known people who be out and about in the community. As a matter of fact, there's some platforms that I've even been invited to take part in, and I've said no. They said why, and I don't fuck with them. They're friends of the show. Right, so there's classification to it. I don't just give it out to everybody. Like I love everybody because I don't. I hate most motherfuckers, right? And so it's just how I am. I've never been a person who liked a lot of people. I don't like them motherfuckers over there, man. Here, man. Fuck them niggas, man. I mean, that defined my teenage years. That's why I wasn't real popular in high school. Because I used to be like, fuck them motherfuckers. All the popular pretty boy, pretty girl, all you square ass, man, fuck you hoe ass nigga.
Fuck everybody. Damn, Kev. I told you once again, we are back at that spot where you need a hug.
That used to be a clip too. I remember that back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, the pretty boys. And,
come on, man.
And then the other cats. I can't remember the other cats, but yeah, that was a long time ago.
I've been an outlaw forever. I'm telling you, I never. Them motherfuckers will vote me most likely to be institutionalized by age 30. This is you dumb motherfuckers. I got more degrees than all y'all probably now. Well, not some of them.
But I'm saying it's still in there, Kev. It's okay though.
My anniversary is Friday. It's actually tomorrow. So I'll get a hug, hopefully, and it'll calm me down.
Make sure it's 20 seconds or longer.
Yeah. I need a hug. She might be like, but
30 seconds of uninterrupted eye contact. It allows you to produce the oxytocin that it's good for your health, man.
That sounds like some Fed shit. Look me in my eyes.
It helps you bond. You know what I'm saying? It creates bonding hormone. Hug for 20 seconds or more, and 30 seconds of uninterrupted eye contact.
Right. Let's let our chemicals rise up. Yeah, that's some R. Kelly shit. Hey. Feel my nature rise.
That's nothing wrong with that. Y'all do that. Hug and hold and do that tomorrow. That's right.
I thought about this too. I thought about this the other day because I'm like all the different kind of things, all of the different personalities. And by the way, I've had several people compliment me on the show saying what I really appreciate is the contrast of everybody on the show. Everybody's different. Nobody's on somebody else's whatever. I almost said another bad word.
Right. Nobody in nobody's line.
Right. Nobody in nobody. So I said, how can I give them and Rail kind of threw one at me the other day, and he thought I didn't see it. I caught it,
damn. Okay.
I'm not as dumb as they told you I am. Shout out to Big Mike. He said MK Ultra. MK Ultra. We talked about MK Ultra on here, didn't we, one time? Rail said he was on another podcast, and I said, okay, well, how did that go? He said, well, it was real cool, fam, because I got to get deep, way deeper than I can normally get on here. I said,
well, shit, y'all not into natal charts, man. I can't bust down your natal
chart. Get all that deep on here,
Kev. Kev ain't gonna let you. He ain't gonna let you get too deep, man. He gonna stop you when you get too deep.
I mean, everybody ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't into natal charts and chakras and shit. This was family, and they were soul tribes. So that's what we discussed. Astrophysics, chakras and shit.
Hey, see, you saying some more shit that's gonna give him jokes, man. He loading his
It's cool. I mean, shit. I just figured out.
Hey, real. Don't even say chakra. Don't even say chakra.
Right.
We out here going over Kev natal chart. That's what we need to do. Sit here.
He said, "Look me in my eyes." That's some MK Ultra ass shit. That's what he said.
That's the LSD that's making Manchurian candidates.
I knew that shit didn't sound right, Big Mike. Big Mike got my back. Can't do that shit. Motherfucker had your ass out here tripping. So hold on, I want to get back to the lack of depth. I want to get back to the lack of depth that Outlaw Radio has. Like, I want to talk about how shallow we actually are.
Yeah, you see how you just redirected all of us from laughing? That's exactly how you would have redirected Real when you start getting into that shit. I don't know. I don't
know if you've ever listened to the show before, but Rail has gone. Listen. Rail has talked about some shit on this show.
I try not to, man.
Transmodification. I'm sitting here like this. Okay, that's what's up. I welcome it. Listen, don't get me wrong. We're not going to spend 30 minutes on chakra. Right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's where we need to be. Maybe so. I
mean, this platform is more about what we gonna do about the violence and politics and stuff like that. You know, it ain't about quantum physics and
nothing real like or valuable. It's a tabloid, so it's.
I mean, no, it's just different vibes, different folks. Different vibes, different tribes.
As usual, your British Bulldog tag team partner tagged in too. Is Kev won't let you get deep. He cut you off.
That's the homie, the Heart Foundation.
You see, we
coming in like the Heart Foundation, Brett and the nigga with the beard. I forgot to do with the
Jimmy Envil Nightheart, right? Like,
yeah.
It's cool. I understand. And so I wanted to just like take time before we get off. I said next time I get everybody on the show, I'm gonna give them a chance to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. I'm not gonna say shit.
How long we get though?
How long do you get? Well, I mean, how long we gonna be on? It's 9:30.
We get the whole show just to talk about what we want to
do that. We can do that. Listen. I'm totally, and I've said this
shit come in spurts, man. My shit random.
Okay, I've said this plenty of times, and you all are the latest iteration of you know what I mean, people I've actually had on this show as co-hosts, right? And I've said plenty of times, if anybody has a topic that they want to discuss or something that they feel is, you know, pertinent to the show, please just let me know before. Don't like 5 minutes to say, Kev, I was thinking about this, because I'm probably you probably should call me earlier, right? Like, but if you have an idea, if you say, Kev, I want to do this segment, I want to put this on, you got the shit. My mic is your mic. The issue be motherfuckers forget and be like, oh shit, I do got to do the show tonight, and they ain't wrote, so they just show up like what we talking about, right? Because we don't have production meetings. So it's not that Kev cuts you off or doesn't let you get.
Kev redirects the conversation. He just like keep it on.
I mean, you got your topics and your,
right,
and your keynotes.
You know
what I'm saying?
Which we have a group. We have a chat group where we send each other music videos and funny shit. And if anybody has an idea or something they want to talk about, you can put it in there. But you don't know. Kev cut you off, right? That's where we at. Yeah, they want to Kanye me and shit. Fall off, right? Oh man. Real TR artist said, real weird cool with you being a modern day flower child. Absolutely. I felt like I gave you enough space to do that, right? Go ahead, Kamar.
For sure.
Man, I was gonna say, hey, I was gonna say what happens is real, like what book did you get that out of? You know, like I'm saying, that's how the topic changes. That's how the topic goes.
And you know what? I be for it though, because like just my upbringing. I told y'all my auntie put me through Bible boot camp just in case we missed the rapture and was left behind type shit. So yeah. So I was indoctrinated into always being able to. I don't say shit that I can't cite resources for, but that's how she taught us. Have scripture for what you saying, because if you don't have scripture, it's just an opinion. So shout out to my Aunt Yvonne Holder. 27th in Chambers, El Shaddai Church of God in Christ. Bible boot camp for the kids who might have been left behind because they was fucking up and missed the rapture.
Mark, did you see this from Mike Kemet? He's saying that you want Sweet Allen.
I was trying to reply to him, but yeah, I got him. Just call me in the morning, Mike.
Yeah. Support. Rail says, walk around naked and be one with yourself, right? That's for him.
Most definitely. It's good for your body, too. You know, it is good for your health.
Ewok said, your ass cut me off tonight by not answering the phone. Ewok, I didn't even see it.
Hey, man. Hey, look, he got a whole bunch of ways. There's a lot of ways he controls the show.
I didn't see it. I didn't see your call. You are free to call now because we have some time left, and I'm about to
every day, Ewok.
Right, yeah. Ewok, you know you gotta. If I don't answer the phone, it's because I didn't see it. It ain't because I'm like I ain't letting this motherfucker talk. Like I'm cutting somebody off. It ain't because I'm today, like don't let me get beat.
Right, that's what I said. Not today.
Not today, Ernest.
It's funny and this is the one thing when Jason was on here, he constantly just took shots at me about everything I did on the show. And I used to be like, I can't believe you even still on here. You obviously hate my guts. You won't let me. And I used to be like, dude, you need your own shit. That's actually how he left. I'm like, I'm trying to start your own show, buddy. Ewok, what's going on?
Man, laughing at y'all, man, climbing around. I wanted to get in so bad on the damn the topic of the show, man, with the the Jew stuff and all of that. I was gonna say, man, hey, shit, when I was a little kid and shit, like 5 years old and shit, I thought calling somebody a Jew was like motherfucker Jewed me out of my shit. That somebody cheated you out your money or some of your shit and shit, That's stereotypical shit thrown around at an early age and shit,
Right, because there was people said Jews are shiesty with money, tight with money, and shiesty in business.
Right, and they cheat you. That's what they would say. Or
right.
Or just like Shanghai.
Words that Shit, they would have put me on blast and shit and took my little nickel out my pocket when I was 5 years old. Like, oh, you said something. That's
right.
Man.
Chase this nigga home.
We gonna teach you now.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. It's all good, man. Tonight was a good show, man. And I was just wanting to let y'all know.
Hey, man,
I appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, no doubt.
I thank you for bringing some positivity since my co-hosts are conspiring against me to meet up at the Sherman Phoenix and have a podcast, right? Like, man, we don't need him, right? Ain't
but
nobody,
no, we said that. Me and Kamar actually said that, Kev. We was like, we got to get Kev out the house. That's exactly how our conversation started.
Firing like a motherfucker.
I swear that's how it started.
You know what? I tell you what, if you got some Fixer spine in a bag and you can bring it over here and give it to me. See, I don't go nowhere where I can't really exercise ass whoopings. No, like I ain't able to really whoop ass like I used to. I ain't itching to go nowhere where a motherfucker grab me. I'm like, oh shit, come on, get him. I like to be come on, somebody get me. Somebody get Kev.
I ain't fit to let nobody grab you. I ain't fit to let nobody grab Rail. I ain't fit to let nobody grab Court. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
And plus that Sherman Phoenix.
And not only that, man, we come with peace and love. That type of energy ain't even around.
Nah, that energy. And that's why I be scared to promote it. Like, and this probably gonna sound fucked up. Like, I love Sherman Phoenix and shit, but I be kind of holding back who I tell about the shit because I don't want a certain crowd to get put up on it and shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like right now it's black business owners, other hippie people, artistic people, herbalists. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then they just put a bar or like a little day bar in there.
Bar up there.
Yeah, I'm about to start being in them motherfuckers.
All
bars all right now.
All walks of life come through there. I think of it like Bar Louie. All types of different parts of my life. You know what I mean? That come through there. Motherfuckers still in the trenches. Yeah. All kind of shit. They still come through there, man. And it's just that the energy in there. They don't be on no bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? They come in, they like to buy, like to come get their egg rolls, like to come get their sea moss, like to come get their popcorn. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just smooth. It's a smooth atmosphere.
See, but then Kev went left yesterday. I had a meeting yesterday with Samantha Collier, and then after the meeting, we went up to the bar and we had a shot, 1738. So, and then I was telling Kamar how I was drunk.
1738.
Now, what if I would have stayed a little bit longer and Mandela Barnes would have walked in?
Why you drunk?
Nigga,
you ain't a friend of
I would have said you ain't no motherfucking friend. Kamar would have been like, wait.
Hey, no. Hey, I said, but he's a supporter of vitality.
Right.
The first thing Mandela would have said is, who are you? Because when he was on, you wasn't
Outlaw Radio, nigga.
I had a whole different cast of people then, though. I had a whole different group of co-hosts. So that's when I had T Brad and my brother, and it was a whole different group. It wasn't even, this was even pre-Kamar, right? Like, so this was.
I made him on my own. I made him out here in these streets.
Yeah, he would have knew this shit was real now when I would have walked up on him like that. Outlaw Radio.
He didn't even know I was on Outlaw Radio until I said something.
Well, when we were doing live from 3041 North, and he was, and this why it's funny when y'all always talking about Kev, don't get it. I used to take this show down there pack up all my shit, and it was way more than it is now. Pack it up, take it to 3041 North, set it up. We did it every Saturday, unpack it, bring it home, and set it back up so I could do another show on Monday.
That was
same
idea
when we went to the Sherman Phoenix and Kamar scene. I had to pack all this shit up, take it to the Sherman Phoenix. We went upstairs, we did our show. We had the wrong microphones, right? The sound was horrible. It was fuckery. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to go back until I get the right equipment, which I do have now. I don't want anybody to be under the understanding or the misnomer that I don't come out the house, because I go wherever I want to go, right? I do. I still do whatever I want to do. I don't want to come.
Mike Kimmy. Look at Mike Kimmy.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the Sherman Phoenix. That's why I don't go. He said, hold a 2-4 reunion. That nigga Kev will roll all up in that shit, full player. You know what's so funny? We did get the footage when the homie got murdered, and we met up at Franklin. I got all those interviews with all the originals, because we are still, I got to talk to Ghetto. We still in the midst of working on the documentary for EBA. So you are correct, Mundo, Mike. I did go up in there with my cane with about 200 thug dads. You know the funniest part about the shit? As soon as we got out the car, right, I'm on the cane, my cousins, a couple of my fellas. Oh, Kev, what's man? Yeah, man, I just had back surgery. Where? and the Kia boys hit the block. And about 2 or 3 dudes pull out guns. Bow, 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 bow. They went off the block. Never came back. I say, it's some 2-4 shit right here. We good. Ghetto was like, this shit like the crib, because he from Chicago. He like, this shit is exciting, man. This is what's up. Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood, brother. So you're right, Mike. You're right. Shout out to Mike Kimmett. That's the comment of the day. Or reunion, right? And I will be there. No, I go where I want to go.
You about to do a live podcast. We got to hold reunions and shit.
No, I don't want to go to the Sherman Phoenix though. I don't go there.
I mean, outside of the Sherman Phoenix, not even just there. It's like
probably ain't gonna be no shootout at the Sherman Phoenix.
Maybe that's why I'm not going. Maybe I'm addicted to the drama. Maybe if there was I'd be there, like I got to see this shit.
God damn it!
It's too positive.
Right. Too many good vibes.
Scrapping, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm gonna pay you for this sea moss, goddamn it.
You gonna knock some shit down? You say, man, fuck this shit. This shit too
Right.
I'll let a motherfucker have that shit. I ain't even gonna chase him about no sea moss. I'll let him have that shit. I got plenty more at home.
Knock mine down. I'm fighting about mine. I just paid $20 for that shit. I'm gonna beat your ass, man. You gonna pay me for this goddamn sea moss. She said, why don't you want to come to the Sherman Phoenix? That's Crystal Ship. First of all, shout out to Crystal Ship and
too positive, Crystal.
Right. Because you know what? Because I'm
take your ass to Mayfair.
Because I had enough of Milwaukee. I had enough of the community. I had enough of going out where people who were supposed to be woke and conscious and righteous and fighting for I mixed up with them for some years, and it was disgusting. And I said, I'm not going to be fucking with these people.
What about your contribution?
I don't think them was the people. The people you was around ain't none of the people I be around.
No.
So I can't call them the conscious community. Remember I told you, it's a big difference. See, that's the thing I don't like about people using the word conscious. Because, see, it's a difference. You got socially conscious people, and then you have spiritually conscious people. It's a big difference.
At this point, this was this community. It was this community. A lot of
those people was just socially conscious. They ain't really spiritually conscious.
At this point,
you see so many
that community was. As a matter of fact, there's extensions of that community, and I won't say no. And listen, this is just one man's preference. I just don't like a whole lot of people. You know what? If my back as it heals, I want to take the show and do some different things, some different, satellite things and some different locations. And because Kamar and I have talked about a bunch of places where we can go live and have a great time. But I'm only going to go where I want to go. If I say I want to go there, I'm not going to go. If I say I don't feel like we should do that, I'd give y'all the equipment and say, do the show. Y'all take the shit and do the show live. And then you can get as deep as you want, Rail, and it won't be nobody cutting you off, Kamar. You don't have to worry about it. So,
right.
But no, it's not a personal thing. It's not a personal thing against anybody in the Sherman Phoenix. I don't want nobody to be thinking that. Like, what he say? Like, I'm out here. It's just not. I just don't want to go there. I just don't have no desire to show up there. It's like, why don't I go in my hood? I ain't been in my own neighborhood for 4 or 5 years. Why? I don't want to go.
Well, we weren't specifically talking about you coming to the Sherman Phoenix. We were just talking about us podcasting in the world in general and getting your ass out the house. But we weren't saying you needed to come there. Just we need to get your ass in the world so we can do podcasts in the world around people and do different shit. That was all.
I would agree. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think, yeah. But I was asked a specific question. She asked me why I didn't want to come. That's why I was answering that. I was answering Crystal Ship. It's not a slight on anybody there. I've been in there several times. It's just like people have preferences of where they want to go. It's like, I'm cool. You know what? The most comfortable place in the world for me is my home. Like I'm not home because I have to be in a lot of cases. This is where I want to be. Right? I'm just like chilling. Like, man, I'm just at the crib chilling. Mike said you on some training day shit. I'm putting cases on all you conscious motherfuckers. I hope that came out right. And when I said I threw the word conscious in there, but Kamar's correct in the fact that I was around.
No, I know what you feel. I know what you
They were more militant. They were more about black nationalism, but there was a commingling of the same sort though. Like there was.
Well, I think that's just the black part.
We would go into places where there was holistic and this kind of thing, and I just used to be like, I wish I was at the crib smoking a blunt. Like,
but you know, like it's like this, Kev. It's a lot of shit that like militant motherfuckers be with that I really ain't gonna be on no more. You know what I'm saying? But I'm holistic. I still gravitate with them. I still rock with them. I still go to the same events that they may be on, but I ain't gonna do the same shit that they do. You know what I mean? And then, you know, like me, when I'm talking about us getting out in the community, I'm just talking about us getting out in the community as the media. You know what I mean? We ain't out here, and the work that we doing is just creating thought. You know what I mean? Creating a space for a motherfucker to talk. That's the work we doing for the community and enlightening the community on what's going on.
That's just limited by my back. Cause before that, me and you was what you talking about? We was out in the community. What you tell you? What? Before they cut my neck open, we was good. I mean, you know, we missing protests and shit because we showing up late, and we went to WNOV. I would take it anywhere. So it's that community just being out and about and showing up at events has more to do with my limited mobility as I recover from this shit than it does anything else. So it ain't really about, oh well, he don't want to. I mean, it's true I don't like people, but not to that, not where I'm antisocial, right? Like I'm talking to y'all, right? And so that'd be a perfect example. Crystal said, "Let's throw an outlaw party," right? Yeah, and Kamar and Courtney and Rail would hold it down. Said I love being at home.
Is you gonna live stream in though? Can we have a screen and then we gonna stream you in?
I might be there. I might show up. Like you don't never know, right? You don't never know. Shout out to JoJo. He said, born and raised on 17th and Capitol. We just love laying low. Absolutely. I think that's something about us that was unique, Joey, that we all wanted to do what we did, but we wanted to keep a low pro, right? We wanted to be like, I want to be smooth. I want to, you know, the way I'm.
But here on Outlaw, we doing Outlaw Radio. We trying to get attention. It ain't about laying low. We talking about building this Outlaw brand. You can't be low when you're building a brand.
For me, I guess there's still a semblance of laying low because I enjoy my anonymity a lot of times, so I won't have to shoot one of these motherfuckers. So because people will run up on you. Mike Kimmon said, "Nigga, I'm rolling." He said, "The nigga said I'd rather be at home smoking a blunt." I did say that shit, right?
Real shit. You get around some holistic people, you'll smoke some shit you never smoked before,
exactly.
Man.
We smoke before we go in.
Some shit you can't get out the stores and the dispensaries and
shit.
We've had people come on. Kamara's brought so many people who are in that community on the show, and they've sat in the garage and pregame with me before we did the show. So I get what y'all saying, but I already been there. Like I've walked these. Man, I've been all over this city. I'm old. I didn't get this far being no square. I've been all over this motherfucker. I know ins and outs. I've been working in the community for 20-something years. So it's not like I'm unfamiliar with who and what is what or how things move. And it's for me that I see people now with an understanding of it that didn't have it 10, 12 years ago when I was already dealing with it. And now they'll tell me, like, motherfucker, you don't be out here. Like, okay. They have reinvented Fond du Lac, right? Like it's a whole new thing now, right? There's a new Burleigh, right? It's a new day, right? So, yeah, man. I mean, it's all good, man. Shout out to Sherman Phoenix, man. Now I got to come down there like Mandela and hold up some vitality and shit. Fuck y'all. I love y'all. You know. I would get canceled by the Sherman Phoenix.
Shit, man. We trying to pop. We trying to make these brands pop, man. That's the bottom line. That's all the motherfuckers trying to do.
Where's the podcast going? Are we just staying where we are as far as the podcast, or are we trying to grow the podcast? Like what is the goal of maybe we should talk about this in the chat.
Yeah, this sounds like a business meeting.
Yeah, we should talk about this for company. We're gonna talk about this for the company.
If that's the case, then there's delegation that has to be done. If there's a mission, if y'all want to get on that, we can get on that. Ain't nobody said that to me. Everybody like shit, we cool. Kev,
I definitely said that to you, Kev.
Oh, my bad.
I definitely said that,
definitely said it to you in the chat.
It must have been one of them times when I was cutting y'all off.
And you responded. That means you just want to pay attention to me. So.
You don't listen to nobody, right?
Right. You just want to
This was said when we was on Burleigh, you got to remember the game was sold, not told. I just come from, listen, I just, move slowly, speak softly, carry a big stick. And I think you got to do things a certain way because I see people hoard themselves and their platforms out all the time and they fizzle out and burn up and they burn out. And so I've been doing this for 7 years, going on 8 years. And I don't think it's all out of luck. I think it's the way I've done it that it hasn't burned out because believe me, I had motherfuckers up and leave. I'm not fucking with you. I lost friends over this shit. Like not only am I quitting your show, I'm not your fucking friend no more. Like, damn. Well,
right. So, damn.
right. Goodbye. Right. Hello, goodbye. Like my uncle said, you look better going than you do coming anyway. I'm not upset about that. Like, go ahead, man. I'll watch your show. It says when we was what was the next one? JoJo. And I can't see the name, and it says Facebook user. I don't know who that was. I tried to see in my chat. I don't see who that was. Oh, is that MC Tone? Yeah, that's MC Tone. MC
Tone.
MC Tone was tripping on the sports show the other night. That shit had me cracking up, man. Listen, y'all got to watch the Big Black Sports Show. It was great. Shout out to ENC Jordan. He is a natural. He's gonna come on Outlaw Radio, man. Y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. Me and his brother had a great time, and Facebook, wouldn't you know it, was fucking up. The first time I messaged StreamYard, like, look, goddamn it, they was like, we're sorry, Mr. Burns. Facebook was app-wide glitch. Because if you look on my page, it says the video has ended. You can't see it. You can't see the show. So I shared the YouTube feed of it, so you can go back and watch it, man. Real crucial conversation about what's going on, in the community. Joey said, "I feel you, Kamar. It's easy to get out and back in and still do work in the community." I don't disagree with that, especially if JoJo said right. Like that's my big brother. So if he said,
I'm just saying, our work is the media. You know what I mean? We report live from places. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Why is my flip phone? Why is my flip phone? Why is my flip phone showing the MC Tone name as Facebook user? It does that to people. I think you have to. They ask for permission to use your likeness or something. I don't know what that's because Courtney sometimes will be in the chat room and I'll be saying, user. And she'll be like, "Fuck Courtney." I'm like, "I don't hear you, Facebook user." Yeah, man. So like, I wanted to give. Now we did it again because y'all distracted me, but I wanted to give everybody a chance to get really deep and profound. And leave a jewel for the people because we're not gonna be on again until Monday. Okay, well y'all need more time.
Last minute.
Okay, so y'all.
Okay, y'all.
Hey, I told them my shit is random.
Right.
Okay.
Don't want enough time. All right, here y'all go. Get deep.
Right.
It's like, all right, make us laugh. Say something funny. Like what?
Funny?
Dance, nigga. Dance.
Right. You see how you treat us? Damn.
Rail, like y'all bullshitting. I'm ready to get deep at any time. Come on, Rail. Bless us. bless us with some pontification.
His brain, he got the shit.
Right. What y'all want to know? I mean,
look.
What y'all want to know? Like, shit, I mean,
random, man.
I mean, if I had to tell anybody anything, the happiest you will ever be is authentically yourself. And if you can't authentically be yourself, look within and figure out what the fuck it is about you don't like, and then address that issue so that you can feel like you're worth showing your true self.
And you've said that shit on here a million times. Talking about I'll never let you get deep, and you go even deeper than that. So I just felt some.
I didn't say that. I don't think y'all was. I didn't know if your audience interested in crystals and chakras and shit. Like, man, I'm a nerd. I like lectures.
You got your own following on the show,
and I don't want to be taking up time.
To be a flower child.
You know, I'm a nerd. For all I do when I wake up in the morning, I meditate, smoke, and I'm either watching something that's gonna feed my mind or my grind. So I'm learning something about spirituality, or I'm learning the next business move. Shit, right now.
Some videos, real. I've been
for sure. Right now, I'm looking into government contracts where you middleman and shit. You ain't got to know how to do shit. All you gotta do is call the people. Hey, how much you charge to do this shit? Then you put your motherfucking bid into the government, and you middleman and shit. So that's what I'm looking up right now. If anybody
I would say in that regard, take Kamar's example, and his example is always, I'm gonna say what the fuck I'm gonna say because he gonna say what the fuck he's gonna say. When I gotta say it, I'm saying it. I don't care who I cut off. I don't care what the fuck about. I'm gonna say it while I can remember it. I'm gonna get the shit off, and then I'm cool. And then you notice after he get off, he's random. After he get done, he's random, man. I got mine off, right. What you got popping this weekend, Kamar?
Oh shit! I'll be at Outpost. I'll be at Outpost. Not at Fondy Market Saturday, but I'll be at Outpost Saturday.
Okay. Courtney, you out here with your podcast populating. Did you do your other episode? You had another episode, right?
Yeah, that's coming tomorrow. You know, it's crazy how I be last minute. I be looking.
That's with Butterfly.
Like, yeah.
Butterfly to Scorpio. Man, it's just something about Scorpio. Like, They
I like
they
to get
the
Scorpio, man. I didn't have
Taurus and Scorpio, they the opposite ends, so they both sensual and intense and shit. So, we vibe on a different level.
I'm a Scorpio, so I don't know. What I hear about us is not positive usually. So I'm just like,
man, that's any man. You know what? Fuck them, dog. Because that's any sign. There's negative. Like okay, Taurus are fat, lazy, money hungry. Gonna figure out how to use you to their benefit.
That's like Scorpio to me.
And all that. Well, we're on the opposites. we're on the same pole. That's the same thing. Like, but so there's opposites to every sign. Like when I told y'all before, I rarely fuck with Leos. But the thing is, my children's mothers are Leos. So somehow, because, it'd be like, okay, they need attention. They into themselves. That's the negative shit. But if they love you, they'll whoop somebody. They will fight for you. You know what I'm saying? So there's positive and negative to every sign, man.
So now, Courtney, are you going to be live or is this?
It's going to be like this, live stream.
What time tomorrow?
Around 11:30ish. I used to be trying to figure out how to set up things and meet niggas face to face. I ain't got time for that shit. Y'all niggas gonna get a link.
Right. Hey, shit, that's the best way to do it. That way everybody in their comfort zone and can talk their shit.
Right. I'm trying to find locations and destinations. All that.
I've been asked many a time, like, yeah, we ain't gonna start doing it all at you. I said, probably never. Right? We got to get a location for that shit. Like, even no, it's cool. No, this is great for me. So y'all make sure y'all check out Courtney if you get out and about, and you're enjoying some of this brisk fall air in Wisconsin. Go fuck with Kamar at the farmers market or whatever. Grab a book. He got him all kinds of products. It's a bunch of shit going on. You all are a brand of your own. So I want to commend y'all on that. Y'all represent, whether on the show or not on the show. I just got to get my hoodies up so I can get everybody another hoodie. Kamar, you probably got.
What if we said that you wasn't a friend of our businesses because you never show up? Now, what if we said that?
You could. I've been called worse. I mean, people say shit about me all the time.
I've been called worse by better.
Man, well, I didn't say the better part, but I just saying. I'm used to people not liking me, so I'm not like, it's like, oh my God, no, don't say that. It's like, yeah, well, get in line, motherfucker. It's not, I'm not the most popular person you've ever met. Was you about to say something, Kamar?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you had that look like he cut me off again, motherfucker. I want to make sure I'm not cutting nobody off. Joey Phillips said, love you guys. Very intelligent folks always. And we appreciate that.
Peace.
All the love. We appreciate all the support we get from the group of people that we get it from. And they are consistent because people who are on Outlaw Radio when we on are here and they rock with us. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah. I think more people could benefit from hearing it. And there's a time and a place for everything. And don't think that there's no method to my madness. Gotta understand that. I once again, I quote the great Marvin Gaye. I'm on Trouble Man. I didn't make it playing by the rules. So don't think I'm, you don't get this old by being stupid, right? Like you got to know where you're going and what you're doing in order to do it. MC Tone said, just made it back from Atlanta, did 3 shows in 2 days. Damn, MC Tone, see, outlaw shit. Everybody's
run it up.
Man. Do what y'all do. I want to say this. I said break yourself, and it was funny, and we play with it, but I absolutely believe it's true. We should be demanding reparations. We are owed by this country. Let's stop playing games. I don't even play games with white people when they say, hey, what the fuck you laughing at? What's so funny, Bill? That shit ain't funny, right? Fuck, that's no joke, right? You motherfuckers owe us. And I tell them to their face, so black people you feel like something you do. It wasn't me. I don't give a fuck, right? Like you, listen, if you enjoy this country for what it is, you got to understand who built this motherfucker, and that is us. And we did a lot of this shit for free. So do you owe us something? You goddamn right you owe us something. And I want you to pay me, right? Pay me or pay me no attention. If you want my vote, you got to know. You got to speak on it. If you ain't speaking on it, I'm not voting for your Donald Duck ass, right? I'll do a write-in on the goddamn poll or the ballot. I put a big-ass X over the whole thing. That shit will never go through the goddamn machine. I put a fucking number 7 lead pencil on it. Fuck the whole day up. Nobody will vote in this goddamn district, right? Either serve the interests of the people or leave us the fuck alone. Stop making fake ass commercials and fake ass campaign promises when you have no intention on following up with the shit. And on our end, we need to do a better job of holding your ass accountable when you say something or you say you're gonna do something. We gonna write that shit down. So mid-campaign speech, when you say, "Hey, motherfucker, what happened to this that you was supposed to do?" Can somebody get that guy out of here? No, it's 3 more of us who saying the same. No, he ain't got to go. What the fuck? You lied. Hire your ass, fire your ass. You got to know. And we need to do that. There needs to be a sense of accountability throughout our whole community, not just for politicians, but for us as well in our own communities, because you got your peers have more influence over you than you know. So if we collectively told each other, "Hey man, that's some bullshit. Don't do that. Hey man, don't be on that shit." A lot of shit wouldn't happen. But you got a lot of motherfuckers who will, "Hey, fuck that. Go ahead, bro. I got you." And then you have shit, leave your ass out to dry. And you the one who got to go and sit down for the shit. And they out here fucking the girl that you was fighting over. Ernest said, "Did you know they kicked the kids out of the tournament because of the Yay Donovan program?" Yeah, it's too much going on. It's too much going on. And once again, regardless of what this kook does or says, he is a foundational Black American, and he is telling the truth about the way things are done. So we can circle the wagons around that. And once we get his attention, we can check him on the dumb shit. Now that you back with us, nigga, let's talk about this shit with your red hat.
Back with us.
You get violated, right? Even in the gang, you get violated when you do something you ain't supposed to be doing. He said, "Kevin for Alderman, you got my vote." Wow, that's incredible. I said all that to say, man, it's really all about us just figuring out a way to get on code and having solidarity. I do want to say this. Tomorrow is the 21st year of my marriage, and I can say, as a real live curmudgeon, right? Like as a youngster who was just extremely cool with being the bad guy, right? And never had no intentions of being a family man, a husband, or none of that. I can say I did a lot of shit wrong and I made a lot of decisions, but I managed to make one right one. And that was to marry my wife, because she did bring order to a chaotic life, right? And what she walked into, a lot of people would have headed for the hills. Like, I'm not fucking with this nigga. But she has stayed the course, and it's not easy. Trust me. I am no picnic to live with, right? I know y'all like, we just on the show with you and we don't even like your ass. So imagine her, right? You stay cutting the motherfucker off. Well, I cut her off all the time too. I just wanted to shoot that dedication, man, and tell y'all it's always good to have somebody in your corner that's gonna love you when the chips are up or when they're down, right? And I'm not saying
congratulations on that shit, man.
I'm a perfect man or she's a perfect woman, but the fact of the matter is, I got 2 beautiful children. I'm consistent in my life. I got a lot of stability where I once didn't have it. So don't get me wrong. That don't mean I'm Cliff. I can't say Cliff Huxtable no more because he ain't right. I'm no. We're not the Cunninghams, right? Shit get real around here. It ain't anybody who's inspiring. And people say, I want to be in a relationship and I want to. Well, are you ready to deal with the shit that comes with it? Because if you're not, it's not gonna last. And trust me, it ain't always a honeymoon. And so you got to be able to get with that person and say, you know what, this is for the long haul. And it'd be hard because you'd be like, sometimes I can't stand this motherfucker, right? Because my wife tell me all the time, I hate you sometimes. I'm like, I know. Was that Tuesday? You talking about Tuesday, right? She's like, yeah, how did you know? I could kind of tell, right? I could kind of tell. So I'm just saying, man, we the Black family is important. And as men, we do. Rail was on here one night talking about how his wife had brought that thing to put in the back. Like, baby, when you on the show, that's what a woman will do for you. When you so here, where it is,
ain't it?
Bro, put this in the back. This will look good. Now just be careful because she will send your ass off and have you in some stupid shit too. Like, why you got my girl said they was cute. You got to be careful and say, you know, sometimes it got to be a cutoff point. Where like, baby, that's pink and it got glitter on it. I don't really have that on here.
I'm just saying though, it's gonna look good on you. They gonna on now.
Really, what he's doing is marking her territory because another woman says he got a girl. Look at that shit, and he didn't buy that. Right?
That's exactly what we look at. All in the background of y'all pictures.
So yeah, man. Peace and love, man. Peace and love to y'all. I appreciate y'all contribution to the show. I appreciate everybody who rock with us and understand that this is a place for free speech. So it ain't about whether you agree with what I say or not. It's whether or not you got something to say yourself. You can't disagree with me and you ain't got shit to say. You might as well leave the room, right? He don't know what he's talking about. So what's yours? I ain't got none. Then shut the fuck up.
Right.
Sorry. So, why are you talking, right? Like, so, but yeah, man, peace and love from Outlaw Radio. We got a big week next week. We got Vince Cody coming through. We got the brother Cino, who marched with Frank Nitti, who was shot in the face. He's coming through. I got my brother who's suing the city because of some housing fraud that he's spent years on it. He's going to do a documentary about the way Milwaukee has been fraudulent in their real estate practices and how it's affected Black people home ownership in the city. He's coming in too. It's gonna be a big week, man. And we got some more people coming too. You know,
that's dope.
talking about some stuff. And listen, if y'all got some guests y'all want to bring in, Real Courtney, feel free to invite them. I won't cut them off, and I'll let them get.
Thank you.
I'm never forgetting the look on my face when he said that the other night. I said, oh, okay.
That's funny as hell. My apologies, man. I did not mean it like that.
It's all good. I heard what you said. I know what you said, right? But yeah, man, you just got to make sure when you out and about, no matter what you do, especially when it comes to our community being a foundational Black American, that your contribution to the community outweighs your criticism of it. And I can do that because my contribution to this community is great and solid, and I can stand on it because I've been out here doing what I do for my people in my community for a very long time on a professional level and off stage. So I can criticize all I want to. So because it doesn't outweigh my contribution. But if it is the case where your criticism outweighs your contribution, you already know. You a fucking coon. Yeah, Monday, man. Peace and love. Capital Driver.
Peace.
Mike Kimmett, we got to talk. Cause do you know something about the 2-4 reunion? Holler at me if you do. I'll be there.